Hello and welcome to the One Stop Co-op Shop streamed, your one stop for co-op news and playthroughs. And today we're playing through Marvel Champions. What's up, Terence?
How's it going? Made it to Friday, and I think for a lot of Americans, long weekend, right?
Yep. Looking forward to it. I was actually supposed to be off today, but I ended up working because I'm me. But that is beside the point. Wow, you got a lot of cards over there, buddy. What's going on? That is...
World Mind does not count towards hand size.
Oh, nice. I forgot about that. That's a nice card. All right, so we've got the collection started. We are playing Collector today because we are in the mood for pain and torture. You know,
I don't know if Collector is necessarily pain. He's just different, right? Like, they're just you just have to. They're just different value to cards, right? Like cards are valued differently.
which is good. I do like that about him. But I will say this 10 per player and then you just lose the game is pretty brutal unless you've got good justice. I mean, it starts at 4 per player too. So it's like solo, if you get an advance, like you just lose. You know? So I don't know. That's the only big negative to me. All right, but I'm going to go ahead and draw my 5 card hand size because I am hulking it up. Yes, you did not hear that incorrectly. Move
Oh man,
I mean
you dropped Suborbital, right?
What?
And unstable. You dropped Suborbital. And,
You don't? Do you need me to thwart?
No.
Okay.
Well,
This turn.
Who knows? You're not flipping up, right? So you kind of have to, though, don't you? Or no?
We'll see.
Because you need to if you want Limitless, right?
Oh, do I?
Yeah.
Oh, yep. I probably will flip up
And
then.
you need to if you want Coin Carrier.
Yes, both things. So what you're trying to say is I'm flipping up. Victor says 4-day
you don't
weekend
have
for
to.
us.
That would be my recommendation, though. With that
Well, yes,
hand.
of course. So do I keep a movable object and pray that I get a resource drawing?
I mean, you're what? You're gonna draw 3 more cards. You're gonna draw 3 more cards
Two more.
and 2 more cards if you keep it, and then you can cycle 1. So you're gonna get 1 resource
Yeah,
out
I'm
of
going to
it.
keep it.
So basically, you would dump your other 2 cards and then use Coin Carrier, and that would allow you to play it.
Or do I hope to get more resource generation early and not worry about this on my first pass through?
I don't know. That's. I'm just saying you can play it. Is all.
Yeah. All right. So here's the bottom thing I forgot. Instead of during setup, we had to put 1 into the collection. By the way, if we have 5 cards per player in the collection, we lose. So just as a reminder, there, any card that hits the table and then gets discarded will go to the collection. That includes our cards and their cards. But also, when revealed, each player must choose to either put the top card of their deck in the collection, which you did, but I should have taken 3 damage. My 18 hit points don't look so good now, do they? At 15. Yeah, they still look pretty darn good.
Still 50% more health than me.
I mean, feels not terrible. All right, I'm going to draw some cards. Oh, plan B. I like that. And electrostatic armor. Huh. Interesting. All right, you first or me?
Cycle. You can still cycle your card. I can go first if you want.
Yeah, so I think I cycle.
You can still do your action, experimental research. You draw a card and then choose a card to discard.
Crushing blow. I definitely don't.
I mean, you probably toss that, right?
Yeah. All right.
So you want me to go?
Sure, go for it, man.
I'll do World Mind to fetch my helmet, and since it's a wild, I get to put into play directly.
Now, how do you fetch your helmet? Oh, what's this?
Alter Ego. Spend 1 resource of any type, search your deck, and discard pop for Supernova Helmet, add it to your hand, put into play if it was played with a wild, which I did. Connection to World Mind.
Gotcha.
So I get that into play for free. I'm thinking about sacking Helicarrier here. So Helicarrier, Snow Guard to pay for Jesse Alexander since I'm already an Alter Ego.
Go for it.
They'll draw me a card, and I'm planning on flipping much more than you.
Yep, well, you should be. I would. I am not planning on flipping. So what's the helmet again?
So
Exhaust.
It's 1 wild.
Yeah, that's good.
Every time I exhaust it, and then anytime I use a basic. So like I have some readying, but if I use it to like say remove a card out of the collection, I don't get to ready the helmet. So if I defend, attack, or thwart, though, I do.
Got it.
So I'm gonna shuffle the World Mind back into my deck and then draw a card. I will flip up, and then I will play one way or another to fetch one of those side schemes because we need more threat.
Yeah, I mean, why not? So Victor says 4-day weekend for us. It's nice. And Collector, probably my least played villain. And we don't play him very often either because it does take a different play style. And honestly, I think a lot of times we think of him as just harder. Oh, by the way, what modular did you use?
I did Wrecking Crew, like we were talking about.
Oh, gosh.
So
Right.
I'm playing on you just... I'm hoping you can punch, and then you said you can clear. So
I mean, I could definitely punch.
Out of all these, I think this is maybe the like acceleration. We don't clear that. I feel the least bad about that.
Yeah. So 7.
So you cool with that?
Yeah.
There is one for like reduce by 3, but that would be 7. So I can do what, 2, 4.
I mean, focus on the main for
3
now. We don't want to lose turn 1. And then Victor also says, any story on the hero choices this week? Not a combo I've seen much. Well, Terence has been begging to play this Nova deck for like the last 3 weeks. And, you know, with all the changes to Hulk, I was like, you know what? It's time to look back at Hulk, see if there's anything I can do with him.
Hold on. Before you see these cards, did you want me to do, in case I potentially could clear the threat, or not threat, the, what's it called? The card reduction thing, would that help you set up much faster?
What are you saying? Card reduction?
There's a oh man, sorry. That's not search. There is a card, there's a side scheme in here. Here, let me pull it out. And I'll show you. Let's heal 4.
But no, Victor, no story combo with this. Although I was surprised that there is an image like of Hulk and Nova fighting together. So
this one, it's the same icon, so that's kind of why.
The player who defeated the scheme.
Like, if you don't clear it, you get the acceleration, which is fine, but you can reduce. Oh, you can't defeat it though.
I mean, I mean, the odds of me being able to defeat it are very low.
Okay, never mind.
So yeah.
Okay, so I will draw my 3 cards. Let's see.
I mean, I guess it doesn't make a difference though. Like, would you rather ready or play something cheaper? Would that help you be up and coming?
I just don't have expensive cards in my deck, so it doesn't impact me.
So it doesn't help you, and and for me it doesn't matter. Later I might be able to do it if I have an ally, you know.
I have 3 copies of one way or another, so my strategy here is to pull out all these artifacts to get card draw, and then clear them, hopefully. Okay, so
Strummerk says, what are you referring to with changes to Hulk? I should be clear. There aren't changes to Hulk, but there are some new cards that, like, if you have 14 or more health, you can ready yourself. So I have 3 of those in this deck. I also have the card. I don't have the one that makes him stalwart, but what's the other card? I do have that. No, the Genius
Unshakable, and then Limitless Stamina is the one that readies him.
Yeah, so we got...
And Ingenuity is not a Hulk-specific card, but...
But if you have the Genius trait, it gives you a free resource, which is pretty cool. Mental resource every turn. And I don't have to stay in Alter Ego. It's just a resource. It's not an Alter Ego resource. So I flip down to get it, and then I've got that. So there have just been cards that have made Hulk better. So there have not been changes to him himself, though. You are correct.
That drops that to 6.
So what are you playing?
I'm just trying to math this out. So I have this and this and that.
Okay.
For thwarting.
Right, but you clearly can't pay for all of them. After you hear thwarts, remove 3 threat from a scheme. That seems good. Remove 2 threat from 2 schemes. So this is 4 total threat. This is 3. What's this one?
Another 3.
But that costs 2. That seems...
Well, you can pay with helmet. You would pay with helmet.
Oh, so that still only costs 1. Oh, why is helmet not ready, though?
Because I used it to pay for Heroic Intuition. I used my second one way or another that I drew from one way or another.
Got it.
Plus helmet to pay for, so I now thwart for 2. And so when I thwart for 2, I then the helmet readies.
Ready, yep. All right. So you've got, I mean, yeah, it doesn't really matter. You're going to use the one of the 2 that gets you 3, and you're going to use multitasking, I assume.
Yeah, I think I'd probably just hold on to light speed because we'll want it, right? And then we just multitasking.
Well, yeah, you're going to have to use force projection to pay for your on roll, right?
Yep, and then helmet will pay for multitasking to get the
yes
mental.
All right, go for it, man.
So multitasking would do 2 and 2, so that'd be 5. And then 3 and 2 and 3 would be 5, so that would actually clear this, and then 2 off of main.
Oh, and then you could play Lightspeed
and
also.
then I can ready, and then I can Lightspeed as well.
Yeah, go for it. That sounds good.
All right, so I'm gonna thwart for 2.
So you thwart for 2.
Off of that, which then readies my helmet.
Yep.
And
you thwart for 2 because of heroic intuition.
Yep, and then I can use.
Well, you have to use this right away, right? After you.
Well, it's after any thwart. So if I use multitasking, I can.
Oh, okay. Doesn't really matter. Got it.
Yeah, so I can use. So at this, yeah, I mean, I can use force field right now to yawn roll.
Yep.
So that's 3.
Yep, go for it.
And then helmet will then multitasking.
Yep, so it's 2 and 2. 1, 2, and 1, 2. Now, this
doesn't
go to the collection because it goes to the victory pile. And it's very clearly when it would go to the discard pile. When it be placed in the discard pile from play, put it in the collection instead. So this goes away, and you get to ready yourself.
Yep, so then I thwart for 2 more off of main. That drops it down to 4. And that raises my helmet, and my helmet will pay for Lightspeed Flight for another 3.
Yep. All right, when you said you could clear threat, you weren't messing around, buddy.
Yeah, this is the deck when you're just like, yeah, I think we need some thwarting like 3 weeks ago, and I was like, okay, let me build that deck.
I got that.
Like, dude, don't play that deck. I already put the picture up. I was like, okay. All right, I'm done.
So Strumiker says he was the one who asked, by the way, about the changes to the Hulk deck. He said, "Gotcha. Not using the standard pre-made deck makes sense then. Thanks." Yeah, no, I'm not. We're not using precon. Just the stuff that just the new stuff that helps Hulk. All right. So
how much do you play precons nowadays, Peter?
When it first comes out, and that's it, literally. All right. So I've got this. So the question is, do I put Plan B and Electrostatic, or do I put a movable object in? I feel like not a movable object. I feel like I don't need the 4 hit points right now. Right?
Yeah, probably not. You get 2 cards out of your deck.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. All right, so I'm using... Oh, I guess I didn't need to pay both things. So I'm using Quinn Carrier to play for Plan B. Then I'm using a movable object to pay for Electrostatic Armor. They both do 1 damage when I defend, and that's... I mean, the only benefit of this is if I just take damage without blocking, I would still do the damage. Whereas Electrostatic, I have to, tap myself to block.
Also, it's just an expensive card that you would have out, right?
Yeah. But as I build up better, I feel like it's easier for me to get more expensive cards out. And Plan B, I feel like that'll come in handy more often than not. Okay, do you want me to get a card back from the collection? Do you need any of yours?
I wouldn't mind getting like Unleash Nova Force.
Go for it. Get it back. Yeah, I don't need to start punching yet, right? Like at some point I will.
He doesn't have actually super high hit points, which is maybe like once you're built up and you get like a few Hulk smashes, he'll go down quick, I think.
I am hoping so. Victor says, "Yup, I'm 1 game with the pre-made, then I start messing with them." Yeah, that's what I do too. Definitely not as big a fan of doing precons as much anymore. Oh, speaking of Hulk smash.
Yeah, I will say yawn roll really helps a lot for just being able to like thwart that little bit extra because it's so cheap for 3.
Now what is it?
And the fact that you can trigger it off any kind of yawn roll.
Yeah, 1 for 3 is pretty great.
I mean, you have to be aerial, right? So it is a thing that's specific to characters who are aerial, and I'm aerial when I have my helmet.
Oh, which you get literally right away.
Yeah.
So Nova is one of the few easy to get aerials because
he's like up there with Thor and Spectrum, basically, that have like built like pretty easily accessible. Like I think you could make the argument that like Captain Marvel also has it, but you have to like kind of fish for those cosmic flights, right?
Yeah. Yeah, whereas you guarantee to get it because you're getting your helmet.
I mean,
turn
yeah,
1.
you're basically it's basically like a. I would have to see why you would not play that. Like you'd have to have a really good reason not play it on your opening turn, right? Like maybe it's a drone or something, right? um, but
So
it's kind of like Thor's hammer, where you can flip back down to Ultra Ego to kind of get it back, right?
yeah, no, for sure. So BC says, BC Eckhoff says, are you guys excited for X-Men? This game will be called X-Men the card game once they come out, as far as I'm concerned. I think that should actually be our post-stream discussion. What do you think? You want to talk a little bit
Sure.
about our thoughts on
Yeah, I mean,
X-Men?
I feel like we've touched on it in the past 2 episodes, but I'm happy to kind of go into more depth.
Well, there's also been some news on Board Game Geek too with the dividers. I don't know if you saw that or not.
I've not.
Yeah, so I mean, we'll touch on it real quickly here, but the guy who's making the dividers basically said he's not buying stuff anymore. So he's not making the dividers, the one with like the number 1 dividers, the ones I use. Yeah, so it's going to be hard to make dividers. I mean, I'm sure there'll be somebody else who picks up the slack. There always is. But yeah, because I think partially because it's expensive, but also partially because he's not as excited for X-Men. So I think there's going to be a little bit of a divide between people who love X-Men and people who don't.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's always the risk of any of these long-standing games is that, like it's not guaranteed content or community people will stick with it, right?
Exactly. Victor says, yep, X-Men are my favorites right after Fantastic Four. This next wave is super exciting for me with an X sighting. Nice, Victor. One of these days I'm going to figure out how to post those comments on the screen because I do think it would be fun to like have them there like for later.
Yep.
All right, so we did 2, and Victor said I use Tesseract Games for dividers. Hey, if you could send me a link to that, that would be awesome. Just send it to me on the Discord, though, not in here. That would be awesome.
Yeah, they're one of the companies where you can like buy dividers and they'll print them.
Oh, okay.
Like pre-printed. Yeah.
I mean, I have a printer and cardstock, so I don't laminate them or anything. I do have a laminator too, so I could.
I think he used to like publish them like I think the things that you could print them yourselves, but then I think someone started like reselling his stuff, like modifying his files and then like kind of reselling it, and so he took them down.
Got it.
I think it was that guy. I could be wrong, but there was someone who was selling one on the like Etsy store that kind of did that, which is I think like a bummer, right? That people resell other people's work.
Yeah. So Dr. Han said they need to make return to campaigns and give us dividers like they did with Arkham Horror LCG. I don't know what return to campaigns are.
Arkham Horror, it's like the Lord of the Rings Nightmare packs. Arkham Horror, the return to, they revisit the existing content. And then one, the kind of neat, they basically did a bunch of Nightmare stuff for Lord of the Rings, but then over time they didn't sell very well because the content was hard enough, right? Like I don't need to make the game harder. And one of the things that they did when they did it with Arkham was that they did not exactly Nightmare, but it's like revisiting, like rework the campaign, rework the scenarios, be able to fix like things where like people might cheese through a thing somehow because of something that wasn't contemplated testing, for instance, or like just a way for them to revisit, keep it fresh, right? Add more variability,
got it,
etc. But then they coupled them with boxes and dividers, and so they were more expensive, but it's like a package, right? So even if you aren't interested in the return to, a lot of people buy those boxes
just for the boxes and dividers.
Yeah, the boxes and dividers.
I think the campaign boxes are actually good. That's what I use here, honestly, to store my cards, unless you're sleeving. And even if you do, like I have all my stuff in 2 campaign boxes and the core box right now. Now I don't sleeve, obviously. If you sleeved, you might need all 4, but it's still pretty good. I mean, they give you those card dividers in there, like the double channeled whatever. I actually think the stuff
but that's like super
good.
fun. It's just like you get like a rectangle row, like like a standard card row kind of thing for the return to, and it's like nice art and it's labeled for each cycle basically, and then you get dividers for every single set in that cycle. It's like a really well done product, and I'm sad that they aren't going to do that for Marvel Champions. They've basically said that, and so you basically pay like $30-something for basically new content. It comes with both player and like encounter cards and the dividers and the box, right? So like it just looks really nice on your shelf, right?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. All right, so last thing, and then we're going to get going. Stromaker says, anyone going to submit a campaign for the FFG contest? maybe we save that for the end too. I mean, we talked a little bit about X-Men here. So X-Men, and then let's talk about that announcement because I thought it was kind of neat. And yeah, I feel like we got some extra campaign content, and it'd be cool if they use some of the stuff. So I'm gonna block for you though. Getting back to the game. So he's attacking you for 2. I will block for 3. For each elite minion in play, which there are none, this card gets +1 boost, so that's none. So he does a total of 3. So I take 0 damage, but he takes 1 because of my electrostatic armor. But then he's going to punch me in the face for 2. I'm not doing anything about it. And another 2, so that's 4 damage. And that's fine. All right.
You sure you don't need a heal?
I mean, I'm going to have to flip down at some point anyway to put Genius
to play and hopefully you draw it.
Yeah, so whenever I draw it, I'm going to flip down that turn. So, yeah, for now, I'm not going to worry about it. And then I heal for like 50 bazillion.
Here we go. So that's, 3 + 4, 7 again?
Yep.
The Wrecking Crew is on a rampage, using their magically powered muscles to cause chaos and destruction.
Nice. The villain and each elite minion gain retaliate 1. Well, there's that. I assume you're getting rid of that. But that one will go to the collection.
That is the plan.
At some point?
Yeah, and I do have a skilled investigator, so that should help with that too.
Yeah. So I'm sadly going to have to get rid of Hulk Smash.
Because you play Machine Man?
Well, because I'm not ready. First of all. But yes, I'll play Machine Man and Vested Armor because why not at this point? Again, my whole first pass through the thing is just to get as much crap on the table as possible, so I don't got to think about it on my second pass through, and I'm just smashing stuff. Okay, so I got to flip my card. Villain Schemes. Well, there's that as well. So it's 3 plus another one is 4. I don't feel as bad about that with you being in the game. All right, so I will take first player. Oh yeah, I mean, don't expect much from me.
Thwart, but I don't know if I'm like a super thwarter. We'll see.
Yeah, so I'm gonna pay 2 for Machine Man. I mean, do you want me to thwart 2 with Machine Man? I can.
Probably fine.
You're good without it?
I think so. I'm gonna do yawn, roll, and multitasking plus my innate thwarting.
I mean, you don't need to get rid of this, right? Like, who cares about this?
The retail?
I mean, at some point, yes, but right now I don't care about it. Either exhaust your hero only. Yeah, I can't get rid of anything from the collection this turn. But I'm going to use Quinn Carrier to put my armored vest in, and then I'm going to plan B and randomly discard Hulk Smash to do 2 damage.
You just gonna plank him forever?
I mean,
I guess plan B feels like not as good against Sabretooth.
Well, against Sabretooth. Well, I mean, if you can keep it going, but yes. Plan B is great with a Hulk deck because I just got resources I can't use. Although in this case, I could have boosted Machine Man. But like Machine Man's for a turn, I really have a bunch of resources that I got nothing to do with. And then I could do it. So, all right.
I'll play Skill Investigator.
Seems good.
I will.
You know, I have 9 cards in my deck that ready Hulk, and I haven't drawn one yet. 9 out of 40, and I haven't drawn one.
That just means you're gonna have a lot of reading coming up. So let's remove 2 off of each.
Okay. Oh, did you already do it? I'm sorry. I feel like you already did it.
Yeah, so it should be 5 and 4.
Yep, you're right. Sorry.
I will thwart the 2 here because I can just get rid of it. And that readies this, which will then allow me to play and roll to clear it.
All right.
Unfortunately, this does go into the collection.
Yep.
But I will Skill Investigator that to draw a card. Okay. Should I flip down?
If you want to.
It's at 4, right?
I mean, you should probably play Ironheart first. Or what's
I can Jesse Alexander to draw a card to help play Ironheart as well.
Okay.
But it doesn't matter actually for either of these when I play it. So I will flip down. I will take one of the world mines I had. Oh wait, I don't have world mine in here.
So you got to play it
Never
first.
mind.
So
Yeah. Let me do that. Let's play.
So what's the bunker do?
Ironheart.
Exhaust the champion's bunker to do what? Choose an identity with a champion trait. That player who controls that card.
Yeah, it allows you to basically cycle. So draw 2 cards, discard 2. So you can, like it's really good when you have these events and stuff to basically like get to the things you need.
Yeah. Well, it lets you get to your Nova cards faster.
Yeah, I'm not even always necessarily looking for my Nova cards, just oftentimes some way to thwart. So like if I have a hand where I don't have any thwarting cards, I can cycle to kind of get them, right?
Gotcha.
So I will then, now that I've spent it, I will put it into my deck again.
And draw a card.
Yep. Well, you actually shuffle this first,
well, of course.
And then you draw. Which is actually kind of a bummer for me because I actually wish you could.
Now you have it.
Yeah,
although you have assessed the situation, so you could play it just to get an extra hand size for next turn, right? Well, you draw another card, right? Oh no, you only draw 1 card.
Yeah, so I drew 1 for Ironheart, which was assess, and then I drew 1 for Jesse, and both of them allow me to then play Champion's Bunker, which I want out of my hand, right?
Stromaker says my deck was waiting for me to discard Hulk Smash before I drew some of my readying cards. Yes. Although, honestly, I probably wouldn't have played it first go through on my deck anyway, unless I really just got a bunch of stuff I wanted and had nothing better to play.
Yeah. All
right. So drawing 4, baby. There's a Helicarrier and 2 Desperate Defenses. All right. Yeah, I don't care about that. All right. So he is going to attack me first. I think I'm just going to take it again.
Yeah, I get desperate. Oh, I guess you want Helicarrier.
I'm going to desperate on you.
No, I'm flipped down, remember?
So well then I am going to desperate.
The only downside is you can't play Helicarrier.
Yes, I can.
Do it, right?
Oh, no, I can't.
Because it costs you 2, right, to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, I'll just take it to the face again. Well, no, I'll defend though. Why not, right?
Yeah.
So I'll just
you can ready too.
With
what?
No,
you can just do damage. Crushing blow is just damage.
Yeah, no. But equal to my attack, so it's the same as punching him in the face. All right, so I will defend. He's attacking for 2 plus 1 is 3, so I take no damage. He does take 1 back from my retaliate.
All right, and then he thwarts for 4. 3 plus 1.
So Victor says, yeah, I bought a 3D printer insert for the campaign boxes to give them more strength. Used to transport. I then go to Hobby Lobby boxes for my main storage. I mean, honestly, I've spent 0 extra money on storage, which is funny because I spent like $250 on that like nice, beautiful thing that you play with live, which I don't play live very often. Like that holds my heroes and all, the schemes and side schemes. Like I paid for that. I paid for other tokens. I paid for all this stuff, but I refused to buy like inserts or whatever. Like I literally just use the boxes, which is silly.
I for a lot of the LCGs, I actually, besides the return to boxes for Arkham, I actually just use like those dollar BCW boxes you can get at literally any local game store. And they just scale well. I mean, you saw them at Gen Con, right? Just like for me, it's just like really easy to take them. Just like, I want to take these cycles. It's like, okay.
So you get the real small ones though. That's my biggest thing. Is I have a huge one over here that holds like 700 cards or something. I got 2 of them, but they're not transportable. Like not even a little.
Yeah.
And so like that's my big problem. And the boxes that they come with are actually very transportable. And like I said, I got 1 box that holds all my aspect cards, including the basics. I got 1 that holds all my heroes. And then the core box holds all my villains and encounters. Now, eventually it'll grow out of that. Probably actually this next cycle, I'll probably need at least one more box. Well, only one more box because I'll just have to start combining and mixing and matching at that point. That's going to be the negative of it. All right. So we do have to draw our bad cards, our encounter cards. So let's do that. Oh,
there you go.
All right, everybody drink.
How bad's your dude?
It's Friday night. I don't even know. I don't play Hulk. I have no idea. Hey, you know it's real good when you're not ready when your bad guy comes out. Yeah, by the way, I accidentally shuffled all these.
By the way, I can't clear that until you kill him.
He only has 6 life. After Abomination attacks you, discard the top card of your deck. If a fifth resource was discarded this way, take 2 damage. Wow. Thanks for that, Abomination.
Cool.
So what's this? Threat cannot be removed until Abomination's killed.
Yeah, as I was saying, I can't do anything about it till you.
So do I not play Helicarrier this turn? And instead, I could plan B, I could Crushing Blow, and I could even attack with Machine Man.
Oh yeah, with Machine Man? Well, it's fine. I mean, there's also Philosopher's Stone with the extra boost icon, which is probably also not great. So I'll probably do that one.
I mean,
first.
Taking an extra 5 damage this turn doesn't seem great either, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's your call, right? Like, I'm just saying I might focus on Philosopher's Stone first, and then we can we'll see what I get, and we can go from there.
I mean, can you do any damage to him? I can do 3 damage. 4 damage, potentially.
I mean, my stat sucks. I'm a 1.
Yeah, all right.
I mean, I can do damage. If you really need me to do damage, I can.
Well, I feel like... All right, hold on. Let's just do this. I mean, I can't not Helicarrier, right? I feel like that's stupid. So I will Crushing Blow for 3.
You can only spend to pay for this card. I guess you don't have to spend anything, right?
Yeah, I'm not spending. I reduce the cost. Yeah. So, yep.
So you're doing 3 to him?
I'll do 3.
Okay. Am I first player? I am first player.
Oh, right? I am so sorry. I just did all that out of order. I could not have done that. That's all right. He has no damage on him, by the way, in case you're wondering.
And I guess technically you have to take your Helicarrier back in your hand, but it's fine.
Yes. Well, I'm not giving you my Helicarrier anyway.
Shuffle.
Victor says, woohoo, drinking time. See, I feel like the audience loves Shadows of the Past. We hate it, but the audience loves it.
Okay. Let's do this. 1, 2, 3. Moon Girl. So I paid for that with 3 mental.
So you draw 3.
Gives me 3 cards.
Seems good.
Okay. I want to put out.
You got pot shot, by the way. You got a couple of pot shots. I would not mind you pot shotting Abomination. Yeah. Unfortunately, I cannot play my damage during your turn, though, so you won't be able to remove threat from this thing. But
maybe.
I'd still not mind not taking 5 extra damage.
Okay. Just trying to math this out. Unleash the Nova Force, right?
So what's that?
We're gonna clear some stuff. I hope.
Oh. Well, you could pot shot on my turn, by the way, too. Oh, but readying on my turn is not useful.
Actually, never mind. No. I will use pot shot to pay for Unleash the Nova Force, and then I'll use Determination to pay for my other pot shot. So that does 4 to Abomination.
Okay.
And then Moon Girl will do the last 2.
So you killed Abomination.
But actually, I'll do that. I'll do that in a different order because I need Nova to kill. And before that, I will also thwart for 2 as well.
So hold on. Slow down. So
okay. I'm going to thwart for 2 first. I'm going to have Moon Girl hit what? For 2.
2 off of
2
what?
Off of this Philosopher's Stone.
Okay. So you thwarted for 2. Moon Girl hits Abomination for 2.
Yep. And then I pay for pot shot with my Determination, which removes 1 off of main and then kills Abomination.
Okay. And
which then readies Nova.
Because
and then
you killed it,
yes.
readies Nova, draws a card. Got it. Thank you, sir.
I will then use Super Nova Helmet to then pay for Lightspeed Flight to then remove 3 more off of that. So it's down to 2.
Away.
And then I remove the last 2 by thwarting, which readies my helmet. Unleash No Force, since I remove the last threat off of it, readies me, and then draws a card.
By the way, Abomination goes to the collection. I messed that up.
Oh.
But this goes here, right? Yes. Oh, the player who defeated this draws 2 cards, by the way, if you did not.
Oh yeah, I get to do that as well. So Unleash No Force gets me a card. Skill Investor gets me another card. That also gets me 2 more cards.
Yep.
Okay.
Seems
so then
good.
I will use Connection of the World Mind, probably. Because I only have 1 more wild, and I have the helmet still. To then put out Sense of Justice.
Okay.
And then I will thwart... It doesn't really matter. I'll thwart 2 off of this.
Yep.
And then use Sense of Justice with my Yawn roll.
Yep.
To then clear it.
Yep. And this does go
which
to
then
the
readies
collection.
me, and then I draw a card.
You may need to start clearing the collection. I mean, we're only at 5, but that is halfway.
Get me a card there. Do I just keep going? Just
do what you want, man.
I mean, let's see. What do I got 3. All right. I will then, one way or another, to fetch another victory display side scheme. Do you have a preference on which one?
No. Oh, maybe the one that makes things 3 cheaper. Hold on. Let me undo everything on my turn.
I mean, you have to clear that.
I have to do it myself. Machine Man can't.
Yeah, and it's not out here actually. But maybe this is helpful for you, Teapot. If you clear that with Machine Man, you can heal for 4.
I mean, that seems not terrible. So if you can
I can get it. I can get it pretty low. Probably.
If by pretty low you mean to 1, then that's useful. If you don't mean 1, not as useful.
Yeah. Okay. So I will thwart. Wait, what do you need it to? You need it to 1, right?
I would need it to 1, yeah. Because, I mean, if I want Helicarrier out. I guess I don't need Crushing Blow, so I could, if you had it to 2, that would be useful. Because I don't need a Crushing... Oh, no. But I need Helicarrier. What does this say? When Machine Man attacks, 3 resources. Helicarrier does not give me a resources.
2 Desperate Defense to put out Helicarrier and just contribute Crushing Blow instead of playing it, right?
Correct. So but then I'd have a Helicarrier doing nothing also.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. It lines down. Okay. So in that case, I will do that. I will use this to do Lightspeed. Flight. Remove 3 off of that.
Okay.
I'll then thwart for 2 more to get it down to 2.
Yep.
Ready my helmet. Use my helmet.
Dude, you're going nuts.
For pot shot. So do 4 more off of him.
Guess who's back?
Do I do the last pot shot?
Why not, dude?
No, I feel like I just do go for champions, then I don't take damage. Is he a champion? No, he's not. I don't take damage. Ironheart also doesn't take damage, nor does Moongirl.
Well, Moongirl too late.
Yeah, I didn't know if I was gonna play it though, right? So
well, yeah,
that's fine. So let's do that. Let's go for champions.
I mean, you're clearly chumping this turn.
Yeah. And then I'll play, instead of doing pot shot again, I'll just crew quarters to get kind of that out of my deck.
Yep.
And then at that point, Ironheart will. Do you actually want me to do the one to
I
drop
mean,
that down to one?
if you
It
do
doesn't
the
make a difference.
one, then I get to crushing blow, right? So it does make a
Okay.
difference. I
All
mean,
right, I'll do the one.
that seems
She doesn't
good.
take the damage, and then I have 2 blockers, and
Yeah.
myself.
Yes. Yeah. Who don't take damage? None of the above take damage, which seems good.
Yeah. So that was like an okay turn.
That was an okay turn. All right. So Stomacher says Terence clearly needs more cards in his hand. Victor says Shadow's always more fun when it's happening to somebody else. Yes, thank you, Victor. I appreciate that. And
Shadow's more fun when it happens to someone else and you don't have to do anything.
right.
It's like your shadows, but someone else just took care of both the sides.
I mean, honestly, you just did so much stuff, and I'm gonna like punch for 3, and that's gonna be my turn.
and put out Hellcarrier.
Yeah. Well, yes.
You said you would take care of the collection for me, so I'm still counting on you to do that.
At some point, I will take care of the collection for you, Terrence. I promise. So Steve from Beat the Game says Hulk always drives a crowd. That's the, and then he also says that's the beauty of Nova Force. Yeah, no, Nova's pretty darn good. All right, so we're gonna do what we did before, spending 1, 2, 3 to put in Helicarrier, using Helicarrier to crushing blow. I did not use a fist because I don't have any, but yeah, I do 3 damage. And then Machine Man coming in useful.
MVP for you right here.
Yep. Takes care of this. Bye.
Yeah,
And,
I could have cleared that to draw more cards, but I figured the 4
that heals 4, right?
Yeah, it'd be useless on me.
Yeah.
I'm at full health because you made it for me.
Guess who else is at full health? This guy.
Not you. You're at 15, right?
Oh yeah,
18.
I forgot. I took damage at the beginning to not put something in the collection. All right. At some point, I promise you, I have so much readying in this deck, and I've drawn none of it.
I'm waiting to see it.
Wait, do you want me to go down? Oh no, not with 5 on the scheme. Nope, not doing that.
I feel like you go down the day you get Ingenuity.
By the way, I got a Hulk smash. Yeah. Oh, I forgot about Unstoppable Force also lets me ready. By the way,
Yep.
so I have
that was the card I was thinking about when I saw the other one.
So I have 10 cards because I also have limitless stamina here.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice that I have Go for Champions out because now it means that you will be ready, right?
I mean, for sure. Yeah. I would have been able to ready myself, but I can still ready myself, so that's fine. All right. So we're gonna add 2 threats to the main. Then he's gonna attack you, and it doesn't matter because you're not gonna take damage. And then who's chumping for me?
It's not even a chump, right? It's like Ironheart.
Who's exhausting for me?
Ironheart.
Yep. So no damage because none of your champions take damage. All right, and then draw another card for yourself.
Bulldozer.
Villainous.
This is a you problem.
Yeah. Well, I do have Hulk Smash, so that seems good. What's this?
That thing sucks. It's the like poison thing.
When your turn begins, place a poison counter here. Take a damage for each poison counter here. Your action spend 3 resources of different types. Wow, that is really terrible. The villain schemes. That is a Terrence problem. 3 plus 3. That is an everybody problem. That is 6. Right on the main over there.
That's fine.
You're like, please hold my beer. All right.
I mean, I can do 6 with the cards in my hand right now. So.
Well, you got to get rid of this stupid thing at some point. All right. So I'm clearly Hulk smashing, right?
Yeah, this guy, right? Bulldozer.
Yep.
Get him out
So
of the way.
1, 2. What do I got to do? Using only fists. So I will use Unstoppable Force for my 3rd one.
Yeah.
That gives me plus 10 attack and overkill. Because reduce the cost. Quinn carry can be anything. So that other one was a fist. So it's plus 10 to my attack. So now I am attacking for 13 with overkill.
So 6 on the boss.
6 on the villain. Now I guess I limitless stamina, right?
Yep.
Ready up
and
again?
And then you just remove a thing from the collection?
Probably. So limitless stamina lets me ready. And then I'll remove maybe mine? Well, yours is pretty good. Yours is 4 damage. I mean, mine's
just
plus 2 recovery, but I don't know that I'll ever flip down. And Alter Ego Resource is really not useful.
I mean, do you want it out of your deck?
I mean, it's out of my deck already, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you put it in, do you want it in your deck? You want it out of your deck?
I mean, I would just want it out of my deck anyway. So I think I've successfully cleared. I mean, Banner's Lab's good, but not in protection. Like I don't need it in protection, especially with Go for Champions or whatever. All right. Oh, sorry, you are not done. So I am not gonna do anything with Machine Man. He's literally there to get out of my deck, and then if I have a bunch of resources one turn, do something, maybe thwart whatever else. But he is not a every turn play for me, for sure. So well, against Collector anyway.
So I take a damage when your turn begins, which is now that you're done. I put poison counter here and take 1 damage for each poison counter. So you take 1 off the rip, and you can't do anything about it. So this is the 3 I want here, and then I can ready and still pay for that, and then I have sense to just pay for Yarl. I think so. Okay, so I'm gonna spend Supernova Helmet, and these 2 to then pay the 3 different I need.
To get rid of the poison.
For that, yeah, to remove the poison, and that unfortunately goes into collection, but
I mean, something's going into the collection at some point, so.
Yeah. And then I do remove 1 for using Determination.
Yep.
Off of main.
Got it.
Do you want me to remove stuff for collection, or you want me to just keep thwarting? I think thwart.
I think thwarting, yeah. I mean, my goal is to keep the collection low.
All right, so I'm gonna thwart for another 2 off of main.
Okay.
Ready my helmet. Sense of Justice to yaw and roll for another 3, and then Supernova for another 3.
I mean, that all felt pretty good. I don't know exactly what you did, but
I played Super Lightspeed Flight, my signature that removes 3 for using a wild, which I did with my helmet.
Yep.
And then Sense of Justice did the yaw and roll.
It's Sense of Justice. Okay, got it. Yep.
And then with this, I'm going to assess situation and get a 6-card hand.
I mean,
and then don't want stuff in the collection, so I'll just hold these 2.
Yeah, hold Moon Girl. I mean, yeah, for Collector, they're like extra chumpers only in case of dire emergency. Otherwise, you just get them out of your deck. All right, so we are going to ready up. I'm going to draw my awesome 4-card hand size. I do have a Desperate Defense, so that's good. I also have a limited... limitless stamina.
Yeah, I also have force field protection if we really need it. And
Victor Machina is not great in this situation because we don't have any real wimpy minions that we're facing, so I'll just use him for resources. But usually he's good, in a collector situation, if we had picked a modular with a bunch of wimpy guys.
Like the default one.
Yeah, like the default one, he could just chump literally every turn, and we'd never have to get rid of the enemy, and Victor would never go away, right? So that was kind of the point of throwing him in this deck, specifically against Collector. But for now, he's just a resource. I don't mind. Okay, so we're going to add 2 to the main. Then you are going to... I am going to get attacked. Sorry. Yeah, I'll block it and Desperate Defense with Victor.
Okay.
So that gives me
6
defense. All right. If there are 3 per player or fewer cards in the collection, which there are.
Yep, you just
the top card of your deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, this is bad. There are 3 per player.
Yeah, I'm saying
or fewer.
You by removing the card.
Yeah, no, I screwed myself.
I mean, you just don't know, right?
Yeah. Starhawk, that's fine.
You're just gonna leave him in there?
Well, he's good because he keeps coming back to my hand, right? He would never enter the collection otherwise. So he's not terrible. He's actually an ally I'd want, because I could use him every turn and still keep him in play. So that's, again, why he's good for this scenario specifically. But yeah, I don't know that I care that. Look, when I take a card out, he'll come out, but
he takes the damage.
Yep. for my electrostatic armor.
And then you ready, because you do not take any
I
damage.
do, and then I'm going to defend for you as well.
Do you want to defend for me, or you want me to use force field projection here?
I mean, I have limitless stamina, but limitless stamina could also let me punch him and remove a card from the collection, so that's up to you.
I can use force field just so we can get a better handle on the
Okay,
thing,
on the
right?
collection. Oh, that's
Yeah,
not
so
great
that's
though.
2.
That's 5.
I mean, someone was gonna take 2, right? So, but because you defend for 3, this prevents 3.
Yeah.
I do 3
No,
damage
I defend
back to
for
him,
4.
though.
By the way, I have armor.
Oh, 4. But I do 3 damage back to him.
Oh, so that's good.
Cool.
So Stomacher
Let me take a
says, that's how my games go with my wife. She does so much, and I just get to clean up if there's anything left. Nice. Well, hey, I mean, anytime you could play with your partner, that's awesome. My wife has
I
played
feel like you're winning at that point.
2 or 3 times, but I do play with my kids. Although, today I played, just before I came down, a Feast for Odin with my son, and my daughter looked at it and she's like, that looks fun. I'm like, really? People don't normally... Do you know Feast for Odin at all?
I don't know it that well, no.
All right.
I mean, I know of it, but I don't know it.
It's a... Like, when you look at it, your head explodes. Like, there's literally, like, 20 worker placement spaces on the board, maybe 25, maybe even more. Then you have a polyomino puzzle you're trying to do on your own personal board, and there's, like, 50 million little chits that you do. You upgrade from one thing to the next to the next. And then you can do different things with different chits. It's the kind of game you look at and you're, like, overwhelmed. It's not hard to play, actually. I mean, the strategic depth is really quite high, but yeah, it's not a game that people would normally look at and go, wow, that looks fun. Like, you normally look at it like, I don't understand anything that is in front of me. So I think she was just in a good mood tonight. So we'll see if it continues tomorrow. Hopefully so. All right, so where are we at?
Cards.
You're still going, right? Oh, no, that's right. Bad cards. Attached to collector. When the collector would take any amount of damage, put this card face up into the collection, prevent all of that damage, then place threat on the main scheme equal to the amount done this way.
Inconspicuous box puts my lowest cost card I control in the collection.
Okay, we're both going to have to collection this turn, right? Yes? But you're first player.
Yeah.
I don't suppose you could poke for 1.
I can poke for 1.
Just to get rid of this garbage.
Sure, I'll poke for 1.
Well, don't do that first. Because don't you ready your helmet when you poke for 1? So why don't you do some stuff first?
I use my helmet to pay for field force.
Got it. So do you want to do that then?
Sure.
So it adds 1 threat to the scheme.
Let's see. Yeah.
By the way, I could have poked for 1 if it's better for you to do something else. Because I do have Machine Man ready. I mean, I'd rather you remove a card from the collection, honestly, if you can't ready.
I can't ready.
All right, so go ahead and ready yourself up. Let's say you didn't do that. I'll just poke with Machine Man. That's fine.
Okay. Let's see.
Do you need Helicarrier?
Do I need don't you need Helicarrier?
No, because I got Quinn Carrier. Yeah, I definitely don't need Helicarrier. In fact, specifically, do not need.
Hey, what do you have to do?
I mean, the only thing I'm doing is
you can use.
I'm limitless staminaing. I'm plan Bing. We're good. We're good. I literally don't need my Helicarrier this turn. I mean, I could use it to beef up Machine Man, but I don't want to because I only want to poke for 1. So literally, I don't want to use my Helicarrier.
Okay. I'll take your Helicarrier.
Okay, it's yours.
And I'll spend these 2 to then put out a Helicarrier.
Yeah, see, Terence? I'm useful. I'm a team player. This is the first week that I'm ever a team player just because I literally have nothing to do with the resource.
Oh, man.
What are y'all saying? I feel like we're in a decent spot.
No, it's just the...
Oh, you can't ready this. Unless you
Yeah.
do something. I mean, if you'd
Yeah.
rather poke, go for it, man.
No, I don't need a poke. I could thwart or something, right?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Why don't you do that
But
this turn and you just help with the collection next turn or whatever? It's fine.
we're at 8.
I mean, I'm taking one out for sure. We're 8. We're about to be 9, though, right? Oh, no, we're about to be 8. We're at 7 currently.
Yeah. I will just hard pay for light speed for 3, and then let's remove 1 out of the collection.
So wait, you remove 3.
Yeah, I'm just gonna use Helicarrier and Sense to like pay for light speed for 2,
You gonna take your skilled investigator back?
and then I'll take my skilled investigator back.
I mean, the question
Right.
is, do we want to put any of these back? I mean, we don't want to put Abomination back, obviously. We don't want to put Poison back, but do we want to put any of these back? Are like any of these better than me getting? Like,
I don't care.
Starhawk?
I feel like any side scheme is like easy sauce for me to clear.
Well, that's why I'm wondering. Like, is it good to put it back in? Because first of all, do we ever go through the deck? We still haven't gone through the deck.
No.
He goes through slow. There's no surge. Like, it feels weird. It feels slow. So I mean, putting these back doesn't even help us really. I mean,
Is it? I don't even need to flip down. Is it bad to flip down? Should I flip down?
I mean, he's at 5. I wouldn't. Like, that's how we're gonna lose. Like, it'd be something dumb like that. Hold on, I haven't gone yet. Come on, Terence. I know it's easy to think I've done stuff when I haven't. All right, so Machine Man's gonna attack. That's gonna add 1 threat to the scheme. This goes into the collection. Now I'm gonna punch for 3. I am going to Quinn Carrier to Limitless Stamina to ready myself. I'm going to remove. What do you think? Do I get Starhawk back or do I just leave him there and not worry about it?
Get Starhawk back.
I mean, Starhawk's good. He's not necessary to anything I'm doing. And then I will plan B for 2 more damage. Oh, do we want to flip him?
I don't know. That's gonna put 2 more in the collection. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll be at 8. No, I don't think we want to flip.
So don't plan B and just discard Suborbital Elite?
Yeah, I feel like we probably want to like try to probably get it down to 6 before we.
Okay. All right, so I do nothing.
Or no, not 6. It's at 6 now. We want to get down to 4, right? So then 2 would get it to 6.
Back to 6.
And then just those treacherous are going to cost us to lose the game, right?
What would it be?
Have it controlled.
Boundless Rage. Well, that's good. I'm actually
Yeah,
glad to
good
have Boundless
part.
Rage in my hand instead of in the collection. All right.
Yeah.
So I'm drawing 4. Hey, I got Avengers Mansion with a Limitless Strength. That seems good. And a Limitless Stamina also. Yeah, I have so many cards that ready me. It is so good. I didn't get any of them early, but
Are you gonna play Mansion now?
next turn, yeah. Why wouldn't I? I mean, draw through my deck faster.
I guess we'll see what happens. All right. So 2 threat,
Yep.
and then he attacks me. I can
You want me
do
to
this again. Force field.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
So I take 1. And then this does pop it though. Do I want to do that?
Well, that was the question.
I guess I don't, right? We don't want to do that.
So I will block for you then.
Okay.
And just block. So it's 2 + 2 is 4, which is exactly how much defense I have.
He does take 1.
He does take 1, so he's down to 1. And then I'm just going to get hit, which won't trigger electrostatic armor.
Yep. That's correct.
So he hits for 2. I just take the 2 to my face. And we're good. Right?
Yep.
All right.
Card.
You take a card, I take a card. Give each brute enemy. He's not a brute.
So we discard.
Discard until we get a brute, which there might not.
There we go.
Pile driver. Oh, hey, look. Why not get another villainous enemy out with 8 hit points? All right. So you know how I'm supposed to kill stuff?
Yep. You can ready. I hear that's a thing.
I mean, I could kill maybe one thing. Maybe. There's 0 chance I'm killing both of these dudes. I'm first player.
Let me just thwart this down pretty low, and then I'll flip, and so you can worry about my dude. Well, he has villainous though. It should be fine if I can get down to 0, right?
No, I think I kill your dude. Your dude's easier to kill for me. I don't even know if I could kill your dude, to be honest. I mean, I would have to sacrifice Machine Man, and I wouldn't be able to remove anything from the collection. So are we not worried about the collection this turn, and we're just gonna focus on killing stuff? I mean, I feel like we almost have to with these two.
Well, killing stuff puts it into the collection, which would get it up to 8.
I know, which is bad. But what else are we gonna do?
And then your retail will then put another 2 in. So we have to do it the collection.
All right, well, let's start with this. 3-4 to put Mansion in. Then let's see what I draw. Indomitable, which is a great card. Guess what it's not great for right now. So Helicarrier, put in Boundless Rage. Indomitable, I guess. Yeah, because Indomitable is not great right now because I don't want it in the collection. To Limitless Stamina to ready me. So I attack for 4 right now.
That's correct.
Can I take your... I can kill your dude if you give me your Helicarrier.
Okay.
So use that to pay for Limitless Stamina. I ready.
Oh, for plan B?
Yeah, I hit Pile Driver for 4. I take 1 Retaliate. And then, yeah, I plan B. Discard Indomitable. Kills Pile Driver. Oh. Doesn't kill him there. Kills him to here.
Okay.
And it is what it is. Not much I can do beside that right now. Sorry, dude.
It's all good. I will thwart for 2 on main.
Okay.
Oh wait, my helmet was not exhausted, right? So.
You used your helmet to pay for your 3 defense thing. Oh, we decided not to do that.
I didn't do that.
Yeah, we decided not to do it. You're right.
Okay, so I should do something before that, right?
Yes.
I'll spend 1, 2 to get something out of the collection. Do you want Banner's Laboratory, or you want something in the discard of the encounter deck?
I don't want Banner's Laboratory, but I also don't want Pile Driver or Abomination or Poison. These 3
I feel like
staying here
Banner's
forever.
Laboratory is potentially better because we don't have to pay for them to come back out. Like, if they come out, then we still have to deal with it. I don't know.
I still feel like you want... I feel like you want this because you want to put schemes into play. You have those cards that put schemes in.
Alright, let's do Total Destruction because it's only a 4.
Yeah.
And Abomination's not is in the collection, so he's never preventing it, right?
Yes. Good call.
Alright. Okay. So I've spent that, and now I will thwart for 2. Which I did subtract already, which raised my helmet. And with that, I'll spend 2 here to double yawn roll. To then remove another 6.
I just thought about it. If I defend, it's popping him, which is putting us at 8. I mean, I think that's fine, though, right?
Yeah. Should be okay. And I think I'm actually going to flip down here.
So I don't have to chump for you. Well, then I could just block against Wrecker and let him punch me in the face.
Yeah, I mean, Record gets a basic 2 boost. Guaranteed base, pretty much, right?
If I don't defend him. I mean, I could also just chump with Machine Man, but that also seems bad.
Okay. And then I will Alexander, so I can put more World Mines into my deck.
Yeah, that seems good.
And then I will Crew Quarters to get up to 8.
Look at you. That's so cute, you and your 8 hit points. Although I'm about to be less than 8 in a second.
Of course it is.
Speaking of... I mean, you could use your... that to see if you draw a double resource to pay for Miss Marvel. Right?
I don't have double resources.
Wait, you have 0 double resources in your deck?
Yeah.
Seems not ideal.
Does it though? Like how many like more than one cost cards do I have in my deck?
That's true.
Like I have Power and All of Us for like Helicarrier and like some of my big allies, but like
yeah,
and I want those wilds, so I don't know. I might just pitch Force Field Projection and then find a way to potentially play Miss Marvel next turn.
Well, do you want to play Force Field? Oh, yeah.
No, it's 0. And maybe just hold this so I don't deck myself.
After you play an event, exhaust Miss Marvel, deal 1 damage to her, return the event to your hand.
Yeah, seems good.
That does seem not terrible. All right, yeah. So you're holding that, and we're done.
Yeah.
I still haven't gone through my deck. Hey, I got 2 double resources, which means, yay. I do have my Ingenuity, but I don't even know if I need it. Thunderclap doesn't seem terrible.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, it's not great, but when you have 2 double resources that you're staring at.
Yeah, the only downside of flipping down for Ingenuity is you lose Boundless Rage, and it would go in the collection.
Well, not only do you lose Boundless, I mean, I'm not doing it. There's no way. Like at this point, it's too late. I'm past all that.
Did you mansion, by the way?
I did. I think so.
What'd you mansion?
I don't know. Can somebody tell us if I mentioned? We have a lot of people out there watching. I don't think I did. So you want to draw a card and then you'd be able to play Miss Marvel last turn?
Yeah, that'd be 1, 2, 3. These.
You do have a double resource. Look at you. Yes, I don't think I mentioned.
I have no double resources. I just have Power and All of Us.
That's double resource, buddy.
No, I just mean like I don't have the basic one.
Yeah, not
like
for Miss Marvel, but yes. Okay, you are correct. Sorry. Yeah, I don't think I mentioned last turn. I put it in. I was very excited to put it in, and then I never used it.
The downside of that is I get an encounter card.
I mean, boohoo. Hopefully it's a villain and not one of these big tough ones, so I can thunderclap it. I don't think we have any weenie villains though, to be honest. All right, so 2. Then he attacks me. I take it to my face. So that is 4 damage. He did not take a damage because I did not defend.
But you're blocking here.
But I'm blocking Wrecker.
For 4 against 4.
Yep. Well, he's villainous though. No, he's not 4.
Yeah.
It's only +2 if it's undefended.
Yeah.
So now it's 4 against 4. So yes, I take no damage. He does take 1. Unfortunately, I can't ready, but I got plenty of resources to pay for stuff. And
then you.
Oh, well, I can't ready yet, but I might draw one with my mansion. So this is mine.
So, no, that's the thwart.
Oh,
3
yes.
plus 3. 6.
5. 5 total. There's 2 plus 5.
No, isn't it 3 plus 3?
Yeah. 2 plus 1 plus 1 plus 2. Yes.
Yeah.
That's from Clue. If you haven't seen Clue, go now. It's great. All right. Oh, there you go. There's somebody else. Oh my gosh. This is terrible. What's yours? Choose to either spend 2 fists or put the top card of your deck in the collection.
I'll spend.
And you're first player, right?
Yep.
Should I use Mansion and hope to get something that readies me, or
yeah?
I don't even...
something you can spend your resources on.
Well, no. Hold on. So right now, I could spend 2 resources to remove a card from the collection, right? And then I can spend my Strength and my Quinn Carrier to Thunderclap. I mean, would you be better off with the card is the question. I mean, the
That's
only other
fine.
thing I can do is boost up Machine Man to 3. I mean, what I'm hoping to draw is something that readies me, right? I don't know that I have anything that is really going to super help me this turn. Although you got 57 cards. Well, we'll let you go first, and we'll figure it out from there.
Okay, so do I Nova Force? I guess so.
What's Nova Force?
If I remove the last threat on a scheme or kill an enemy,
Well, and let me
I
know
can
if you
draw
need
a
me to
card.
do like my 3 damage to each of these. Oh, actually, you could kill Collector as well.
Yeah.
Well, I can do this at any
Uh,
time, right? Let
Yep,
me
yep.
do this.
So you,
Spend 2 to remove something from the collection. Do we want this back in?
yeah, let's do that. Side schemes seem good for us, right?
I mean, for you, yes.
I mean, it's a team sport.
All right, so we got 5 cards in the collection right now, but I can't remove anymore.
Okay, so I will Thor for 2.
Yeah, and if you need extra resources, let me know. Or
I will I will Lightspeed Flight for 3. And then I will Lightspeed Flight again for another 3.
all right. So what do you get to do? Draw a card and ready?
I get to ready and draw a card.
That both seems good.
I don't need that.
No, you don't. You need punchy cards.
I do need punchy cards.
Do you want me to let you draw a card? Because you don't really have anything.
I mean, what do you, if you draw a card, what does it get you?
I don't know. Like, readying would be the best, but that's only 4 damage.
Right.
One.
Did I remove something from the collection? I have not yet, right?
No, you have not. What? Why didn't you put out Justice Served? You should have.
Why don't I just punch Collector for 1?
Okay.
And then I can ready and draw a card, right?
Yep. Seems good.
So let's do that. Punch Collector.
Okay, so he advances. One reveal, put the top card of each player's deck into the collection.
Yep.
Place 1 threat in the main scheme for each card in the collection, which also helps you, actually. Oh, unflappable. You dog. Diggity dog.
7.
2, 3, 4, 5,
Well,
6, 7.
Can I retcon that a little bit? If I shouldn't have known.
Wait.
Okay.
What are you retconning?
Oh, just the Miss Marvel to pull Lightspeed Flight back. I should have known that it put threat on the.
Got it.
Okay.
So
but
it looks like I am
ready.
going to draw the card, right? Oh, well,
And-
no, maybe not.
Yeah, you should draw the card.
Well, do your stuff, because
Let me Thor for 2.
okay.
Lightspeed Flight for 3, and then Yaw to get it down to 0, which readies me, and then I get to draw a card. That's not very useful right now. I will spend these 2 to then remove a card from the collection.
Which one?
I'll just take my Force Field. Or no, do you want Unflappable?
Yeah, I'd rather have Unflappable.
Unflappable.
Although I still haven't gone through my deck yet, which is ridiculous. I'm about to shuffle right now. So
maybe I hold Unleash, and I will play Assess to have a 6-card hand.
I mean, do we do that?
And-
Or... All right, so I'm going to take the card then. Well, you still have your
Yeah.
Helicarrier too. Oh, Terence. This is
And-
the... Oh, go ahead.
And
What are you doing?
then what should I do for my last?
Oh, I mean, you only do 1, so you're punching for 1, right?
Or one of your minions. Your call.
Let's see.
You. There's a damage because there's nothing to thwart. So whatever,
All right,
wherever you
we'll
want.
put it. We'll put it between the 2, and we'll figure it out. We can math it out right now, but there's no reason to. You know what's the best thing ever, Terence? You're gonna give me Helicarrier to put in Symbiote Suit.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
1,
I'll do it.
2, 3. Oh, but then I won't be able to pay for Thunderclap. Well, that doesn't seem good.
I mean, you can have my Helicarrier however you want to do it. Whatever tough choices you want to make, you have my Helicarrier.
I can't do both. I'm literally 1 resource short.
What's more important for you?
I mean, Thunderclap is the obvious move, right?
Okay.
And then can I flip down? Maybe I just flip down. Although that seems bad. 4 plus 2, both with... Yeah, that's not going to work.
I mean, can you take that much damage, though?
I mean, we'll see how this goes. All right, so I got your 1, 2, 3 to Thunderclap. Right?
Yeah.
So that does 3 each, so that's up to 4. This is up to 3. And the villain loses 3.
I mean, it is at 0 threat, though, by the way.
I mean, I can kill one of them. With Machine Man and Plan B if I don't symbiote suit. Makes me sad, but I think that's the right call.
Well, the downside is you may also not be able to play Ingenuity if you do it.
Well, I'm not going to play Ingenuity. There's no question.
If you flip down, you would.
So I'm going to add 2 cards to the collection, though. Is that super bad? 1, 2, 3,
if you play
4,
Ingenuity
5,
right now?
6. So you want me to flip down and play Ingenuity? You think that's the right call?
I just don't think at 8 health you can take this attack for 3 people.
Well, I think I kill one of them, right?
I mean, just 2 villainous attacks, 1 at 3.
I mean, if I flip down, they're scheming for 8 plus 3 boost cards. So it's going to be halfway dead plus 3 boost cards. Where are we with advances in here? Because if an advance comes out, it's an auto.
Both of them are in the discard.
Both of them are?
Yep.
So we won't lose.
Yep.
I mean, do you think that's the right call then?
I think I can thwart better than you can tank because no one can tank that many attacks, right?
All right. So
I mean, you lose. This goes in the collection. That's like the downside. But I don't know, like it is what it is, right? And then you trade that for basic resource, right? Like you play Ingenuity, you get to hold your symbiote suit. Like, I feel like you can't be that sad about it.
I mean, I'm not happy. I could have killed one of those 2. But then that would have gone in the collection as well.
Yeah.
And Machine Man would have gone in the collection.
Yeah, I just feel like that's too much. Like we have to manage the collection, and in this way you get another resource.
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily need those. I mean, except to boost Machine Man, which I don't need. Well, I mean, I guess I'm going to use them to start getting stuff out of the collection instead of exhausting myself.
Yeah, exactly.
Draw a card.
Like
should I do that?
Only if you want to cycle and shuffle your deck, but you're about to deck yourself.
I'm about to deck anyway. I'm not going to do it. All right, already up. Draw up. I would have gotten rid of a Thunderclap. Oh, we got one more damage to add to somebody also, by the way, your damage.
That's your call, wherever you want it. I guess if you do
I punch for
Wrecker,
4, right?
You punch for 3 because you lost.
I punched for 3. So
that wouldn't put that one away.
I mean, both of them would
be
put
one
away. Yeah, I mean, Wrecker seems more painful, though. Because of this +2. He just doesn't have that. All right.
I mean, Thunderclap. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. And I'm not even done drawing. So I get one more. Hey, unflappable. That doesn't.
I'm glad I put that back.
Yes, I'm very glad. Okay, this is scary though. All right, so 2 plus he's attacking you. Oh, do you have anything to stop that besides jumping? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
No.
7. I could.
I'll eat it.
You sure? Seems bad. 6 damage. What are you down to? Wow.
3.
Ow. All right. So then he's going to scheme against me for 4 plus 1 is 5. Then he's going to attack or scheme for 2 plus 3 is 5. Then he's going to scheme for 2 plus 1 is 3.
That's a It's like a justice problem.
Sure. All right. This is not great. Go ahead and draw your card. Oh, and we get an acceleration. Although, considering how far into the game,
Huh.
uh-oh.
Huh.
Hun doesn't sound good.
I can put 4 threat on the main scheme.
You could.
Or put that card into the collection.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, what's your team turn look like?
I mean, regardless, I lose this card, so it doesn't affect my turn either way.
What do you think? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
19. I can do 9, 11 threat removal on this turn with this hand as is.
I mean, then I feel like the collection's an ever-present threat right now. Especially because I might put 2 people into the collection this turn. So I feel like the 4 threat's the right call, right?
Yep. I don't think there's any insight one.
If there's an insight one, that would be terrible.
Oh, cool. Cool. That's 4. Okay. Okay.
Sorry.
Well, you are first player.
All right. So let's go ahead and cycle a card. Huh. Feel like that's the worst of my cards, right?
Indomitable, maybe.
Well, yeah, Indomitables going away because we can't afford it to go into the collection. Then I draw a card with Mansion because I have a pretty good hand. I kind of want to play all of it. All right, my hand is really good, but I want to play everything.
Can't play it all.
No, I can't.
Well, I mean, that's why I'm saying that ingenuity is going to be really good.
All right.
So the question is, do you heal before you go up, though?
I don't think so because I've got immovable
You're gonna play immovable object? Okay.
Well, I don't know that I am. I don't know that I need it. Like, as long as I don't have 2 of these guys in front of me, which I'm about to have 0, like, I don't think it matters, right?
Okay.
I mean,
I assume you're playing Thunderclap, so that's another 3 cost card.
Well, yes. Well, and I should probably play Def Focus to make that. All right, so I'm going to play Def Focus. Let's start with that. Actually, I'm using my own helicarrier. I'm going to play Def Focus because that helps me pay for Thunderclap. So Def Focus to...
Yeah, you're not playing Symbiote then, right?
Yeah.
If you're paying for 2 3-cost cards.
Yep.
Or not 2 3-cost cards, but
3 for Thunderclap. So he goes to collection.
That puts it at 8.
He goes up to 6. He loses 3 life.
I'm just using this to count the collection.
I actually think I don't worry about immovable object.
Do you think you just spend 2 to get a thing out of the collection and you put Unflappable into play?
I mean, how would I put in? Oh, I get Ingenuity.
You have Ingenuity.
About that one. Yeah, so I'm definitely putting Unflappable in play. Let's start with that. I was gonna...
I can kill Monarch Starkiller.
Well, I can too with Starhawk, honestly, if I have your helicarrier.
But I have Unleash No Force, so if I play that, it'll let me ready and draw a card.
Oh, okay, so you want to take him out.
I mean, he's literally like perfectly sized for me to punch him.
Okay, alright, so I'm going to spend the 2 to remove something from the collection. Do you want...
I mean, if you want something, well, I guess you just.
I just
yourself.
decked. I'm not decking anytime.
I'll take Force Field. I
mean, you just go through cards so much faster than me. All right, and then I punch for 3. Is that where I'm at?
That's what I was saying. Like, did you want to heal before you, like, you didn't need to be up.
All right. So what you're saying is we're retconning this. I heal for 4.
Well, I mean, you don't have to heal. You can punch for 3.
That's fine.
Okay. So what am I doing? I need to...
It lets me block for you without stressing. So
wait, let's play this. Unleash Nova Force.
Yep.
I do need to thwart somehow.
Oh, wait. So Stormaker said Hulk is sad because you said he can't tank. Maybe. He couldn't tank that turn. He wasn't Hulk anyway. He was Banner. Mary's here. Says, hey all, just popping in to say hi from SaltCon, end of summer. Victor says, enjoy the con, Mary. Mary, yes, enjoy the con. Have fun. Just finished using Cap and Venom to beat Ebony Maw. Ebony Maw is still one of my favorites. I know people don't like her. I love Ebony Maw. I don't know why. Alright, cool. So what are you doing?
I figure I'm Champions bunkering. I'm trying to figure out which one of these cards I want to discard.
Oh, you also have Go for Champions, which seems...
Well, that was the 2 cards that I drew.
Oh, so you don't have resources to pay for it. I mean, I guess you get rid of it, right? Oh, well, you might draw resources to pay for it after you punch him in the face. Although we got to get rid of stuff from the collection. Thinking. We got to draw cards.
Can I just get rid of one of these?
Yeah.
Yeah, just this threat's really high. So
threat's high, the collection's
another
high.
3 threat I play. Go for champion.
And I think you don't even worry about total destruction, as sad as that is to say. I think you got to get that main scheme down. So what are you doing with Potshot?
Do I discard it?
For what? Oh, you're trying to discard 2? I mean, go for champions.
Or do I just discard There's not no chance, but okay. So let me just do this.
Let's put it this way: you're not playing it. There's no chance you're playing it this turn. All right. So what did you do?
Well, let me stay up, which would be the big. I played.
You're staying up. I'm blocking for you.
Okay.
Yeah, we can't have you go down.
Then I'll thwart for 2 off of main.
Okay.
Oh wait. No. Yes.
Yeah, don't worry about this.
That.
You
okay.
got to get main.
Because
if we draw an advance after they just shuffled, we're in trouble. Like, you got to get main. We'll take the extra card. I think. I mean,
that's 3.
3 off main.
6.
Wait, I thought you were punching him.
Wait.
You messed up the order. You got to punch him first. To ready yourself.
Yeah.
Right? So we'll put this back up to 19.
Let me do the pot shot. Let's punch him.
So wait.
Which readies me and draws me.
Who did you pot shot? Oh, you're discarding pot shot. Right.
Villain.
Oh, you did pot shot villain.
I pot shot the villain.
Okay, so you killed him.
Yeah.
Oh, he doesn't go here. He goes here.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So you pot shotted the villain. So now you're ready. You drew your card. Don't forget you get this resource. So I assume you're yawning and rolling before you use your Nova.
Wait, what are we at here?
We're at 8. And I've already removed mine. Oh, you thinking about removing this just so you can ready again?
Well, you get ready in a card.
I mean,
does that pay for base removing it out of the collection?
I mean, yeah, when you're ready, you're going to have to remove it from the collection, right?
Yeah.
I mean, drawing a card's bad, though. But you'd have
Me
to
drawing a
use
card?
some of your threat. No, no, no. Drawing an extra card around, an extra.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a tough call. I mean, you do have one with Miss Marvel, by the way, so you don't even have to do it yourself. You could remove threat yourself from main. Oh, you could use Miss Marvel to draw one of those yawn rollbacks in your hand.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's like I can still pull the yawn roll back into my hand. I think I should probably do that, right?
Yep.
Wait, this was exhausted. Yeah, because I haven't. Okay, so let's thwart off of the side scheme and then use a yawn roll that I'll pull back with Miss Marvel.
Yep. All right, so side scheme's gone, but
ready's me. That is not what I wanted, but I can then.
I mean, it's resources, right?
So in that, I can then spend 1, 2 to do 6 off of main.
Okay.
And then I'll do another 2, and I'll spend the 2.
Wait, aren't you removing a card from the collection?
Yeah, I'm the 2 cards.
Oh. So you're removing 2 from main.
Yeah, and I'll spend 2 to put this back in.
You want that back in or Boundless Rage back in my deck?
Whatever you want. Whatever you want.
I mean, we don't need. We have so many side schemes right now. All right. So that's that.
And that's it.
I mean, we're in trouble a little bit here. Because that main's going to be up to 14. If he gets a advance, we lose, I think. Right?
All right, let's go.
So, let's not get an advance. That's the key. All right. So, I am not blocking for me. Because I don't have anything to ready me. So, I'm not going to block for me. I'll just take it. So, it's 3 plus...
No,
not the case. No. So, I'll just take the 3. Didn't I get a card with Retaliate? Did I imagine that?
You discard it.
Oh, okay. All right. So then I am going to block for you.
You do have a ready, by the way. Unstoppable Force.
So do you think I should have? No, but then I can't block for you. No. I don't have ready now, so I could block for you.
Yeah.
Is what I meant.
Yeah.
All right. So it's 3 plus for each elite minion in play, which there are none. So I blocked all of it, thankfully. So that lets me unflappable.
And you get to do 1 retail.
And I do 1 retail because I defended. Yep.
All right, take your card.
Yes, and pray. All right. Put the highest cost card from your hand in the collection, or discard from your hand, then place threat on the main scheme. Well, we're not putting 3 threat on the main scheme, right? I assume.
Well, I mean, we lose either way, right?
We're not losing.
Yeah. Well, that sucks.
What's that?
Oh, there we go.
How did we not get rid of this?
I didn't see it when I was one way or another. It wasn't like in the deck when I did a search. Must have been discard as boost.
Yeah, probably.
Okay. First player goes me.
Yep. I mean, do I just spend the 2 now to remove something from the collection? I guess it doesn't matter.
Yeah, probably not.
Tell me if you want Mansion and or a Helicarrier.
Multitasking.
So 2 off each.
Yeah. And then another multitasking, I guess.
I mean, that's good.
And then pot shot.
What's that for?
Yeah.
I mean, if I get like
And one off of main scheme.
why one off me?
Because it was paid for with determination.
Oh, gotcha. So are we at 9 with the collection, and you can't afford to do anything to get rid of any of that?
I cannot pot shot and just pay to get rid of it. Just give him the health back.
4?
Unless you think you can do it.
No, I'd much rather do that. And may as well give me Jocasta, right? Like,
Sure.
He's not decking, I don't think. So, all right.
I don't know how you don't have
Either that or hold on, I could give you mansion and a helicarrier. Hold on, so you could still pot shot.
I don't care that much about pot shot if you want me to. I mean, if that's the case, if you're gonna give me mansion, then I will see what I draw, right?
A threat off too. So hold on. Hold on. Let's undo all that. All right, so we're still at 9 cards in the collection.
Do you want to give me mansion? I actually don't. Let me see what's in my discard pile. I have all my yaw rolls in here, which is fine. All my multitasking.
Actually, if you spend this to get a card from the collection, you still spent it, so we still remove 1 threat.
Light speed.
I mean, just look through it. It's 1 card, dude. Just look at it.
Just look at it.
I mean, this is it.
Light speed.
What's that?
It's 3 threat off main. Or off anything.
So we want to let you draw that, right? Go ahead and draw it.
Okay.
Take your encounter card.
So at that point...
Well, hold on. Did you want to spend this first before I let you draw it? Because I can also give you my helicarrier.
Yeah, I can spend that.
Wait, is that enough to pay for that? Yeah, because it's a wild? Yes. So back to 4 off here and 1 off here, right? So that's done. Now those 2 shuffle in.
And then I guess double helicarrier pays for...
Yep. Take mine and yours.
Pays for light speed to remove 3 off of something. I assume main.
Well, yeah, because you don't want to...
I wouldn't get the benefit of that.
Okay. All right, that's not the worst thing ever, right?
I mean, 6 is pretty like.
Oh wait,
okay,
did you ever pay to remove anything from here though? You never did.
That was the 2. That was the 2 that I paid instead of doing the damage, right?
Oh no. Okay, I had given you the damage. All right, so damage off, and then I'll get Jocasta back, I guess.
That's what I thought the priority was.
Yes,
the 4 damage was not worth.
But it still takes 1 off of main.
Yeah, because I spent it.
Yep. Yeah, no, I agree with all of that. All right.
So obviously this is strength is for unstoppable, right?
Yeah, so I'm going to do that first. So strength to unstoppable force. If you paid for it.
Then you get to draw.
So I ready and I draw. Victor, again, not that useful at this point. I mean, although I'll probably put him in just because I have nothing else. Well, we'll see. It's an attack, not a superpower. I mean, I could just boost up Machine Man and have him do something. Well, all right.
But then he goes in the collection, right?
Yeah, so I'm removing a card from the collection.
So we're down 7.
Yep. Oh, I'm not doing it that way. I'm going to spend Genius to remove a card from the collection. And then I'm going to spend this for Crushing Blow. So it's at only 3 damage. 6 damage. So down to 19.
Discard Victor for Plan B.
Discard Victor for Plan B, so that's 2 more damage. And Deft Focus and Ingenuity wasted, but, I mean, hey. It's gonna happen. All right. So ready up, draw up. Wow, I got a lot of resources and nothing to spend it on. So hopefully I get a Hulk smash with ingenuity. I mean, I got two limitless staminas, so that's not terrible. I have 2 Hulk smashes in here, I'm pretty sure. So
yeah, you have an unflappable potentially as well.
Did what?
Unflappable might help you draw a card potentially.
Oh, that's true. Yep. All right, so we're adding 4 to the main, so that puts it up to 10.
Yep.
Then he is attacking you. I am defending for you. So 3, 4. So I did block all of it. So Unflappable draws me a card. Indomitable, which is not what I wanted, but whatever. At least it's out of my deck for now. Okay, so then he attacks me for 3 plus a boost of 3 more. That's 6. By the way, he takes 1. I mean, I could kill him this turn if I just draw that smash card, right? Like this is an important turn if I could just draw that card. All right. So,
how much can you do? 6?
I mean, right now I'm at 6 without it, and it would be 16 plus Machine Man with it, because I can boost the crap out of Machine Man too.
Machine Man would do 4.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, and Plan B. So like, there's stuff I can do. Either way.
Because I can eke out a pot shot twice with Miss Marvel. So that's 8. So you just have to come up with 10. But that would put 10. Miss Marvel into the collection.
How does that work because Machine Man, if he attacks, kills, that happens before he goes to the collection, right?
Yeah, but I can spend to remove mine from the collection.
Oh, that's true. Or exhaust or whatever else.
Well, here we go. 6. Okay, now he hits for a lot.
I mean,
so this is the turn.
Let's hope he doesn't hit. All right. So I think we got this.
You were first player, right?
Yep. All right, so let's draw a card and pray. Yeah, that's not what I wanted to see. Okay. So
you just limit strengthening twice, I assume.
So limitless stamina, of course, to ready. I punch for 3.
Ingenuity for another 3.
Yeah, ingenuity, the limitless stamina, which readies me. Punch for another 3.
And then
double resource to remove something from the collection.
Okay.
And then
Machine Man, I assume, with limitless strength for 4.
Yep. Limitless strength here. So that's 4
so that gets it down to 8.
He'll go to the collection. And then I can use my helicarrier to put Indomitable in. Then I plan B, Desperate Defense for 2 more.
Cool.
All right. That is
and then
what I can do.
Pot Shot for another 4. Miss Marvel brings it back, puts her into the collection.
Yep.
I guess I could, if that affects it, I will have paid 4 to remove, and then Pot Shot again.
Sweet.
That's game.
That is game. All right. I mean, all right. Let's get to our post game discussion. All right. So what'd you feel? How'd you feel about that one?
It was good. I mean, I hadn't played my Nova Justice deck multiplayer, but it feels like there was like maybe one or two turns where I couldn't actually turn the knob on removing threat, but I felt like it was pretty consistent for threat removal.
Oh, very consistent.
And so that felt pretty good.
I actually felt like I almost had too many resources. Hulk's still kind of weird, or maybe it's just my deck that was just kind of weird. Because, I mean, I'm glad I had Machine Man and other ways to spend those resources, but there were definitely like I almost built up too much.
Well, I think if you weren't playing Collector, you would have had Lockjaw.
Oh, for sure. Lockjaw was in this deck before before it was Collector. Maurice says Nova is growing on me. He said in me, but hopefully that's not true. That would be very terrible.
That's a weird, yeah.
If it, no. If he's growing in you, then you may explode at some point. But no, Nova's really good. I mean, all that card draw, all that, yeah, and just having wild resources and then benefiting from the wild resources is real good too.
Yeah, I often don't use those one-off wild cards that much that came out in Adam Warlock's deck, but
Right.
I feel like Nova makes a good use case for him because you do want to have enough of, at least like when I think about deck building for him, like you want to have enough wilds that you can play. Like you don't want too much, but you want enough that you can play on
Right.
that opening turn, right? To get it in for free, and then you kind of also just want them for paying for his signature events, right?
Yeah. Well, no. Yeah, there's double benefit to it, so for sure. Hulk, as long as you get something first turn, I mean, honestly, your goal is to get Genius first turn or whatever it is.
Would you run Meditation in Hulk? Exhaust to put a 3-cost card in play?
I mean, not in this deck because I'm not Alter Ego very often with protection, right? With another deck, absolutely, though. So, but with this deck, I really want to be up defending as much as humanly possible. And I think I thought I had 9 cards, but then I realized Hulk has 2, I think. So I have 11 cards that let me ready, which seems good. Although, again, against Collector, I never once used the, Indomitables or...
Yeah, Indomitables.
I mean, I was trying to get them out of my deck early. Again, if you have extra resources earlier, if you get it at the right time, like, it's good to just get out of your deck and then have there for when you need it. But again, it's a little painful against Collector.
Yep. Yeah, and I like ideally I actually would have cycled Ironheart and Moongirl.
Well, of course.
Those wilds really help with like having the power in all of us really helps with Moongirl as well. Like paying her with an power in all of us plus any other card allows you to draw like 3 cards. Like you would make that, like you just want to cycle your cards so much in this deck.
Well, and you are cycling. I mean, that's the thing. You just drew so many cards so much of the game that
that one turn where I like cleared 2 or 3 side schemes and then brought the main scheme down to 0.
Did you go through your deck 3 times at the end?
Yeah, 3 or 4 times, I think. Yeah.
And I went through it once, barely.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's just 4 cards.
Yeah, I mean,
that's what it is.
I mean, that in like one way or another is super broken too, right? Like,
yeah.
I obviously like Galactic Artifacts is like one of my favorite encounter sets, modular sets when I'm playing a one way or another type of deck.
Oh, sure. Then you pull the one you want.
Yeah, you get to pull. They're all like good side schemes, right? Like they're all beneficial to you, right? So
well, to clear, and when you have as much thwarting as you do, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, yeah, I know this Nova Justice deck was super fun.
Good, and I hope you felt like I contributed at least a little bit with Hulk.
Yeah, no, I got a mansion from you as well, and I didn't take out. Well, I did take out, I guess, Abomination the one time, but like I wasn't doing actually a ton of damage.
Well, you took out a couple of villains because I left them on 1 for you, I think.
No, you just left the one guy at 1, and then I took Abomination out, and then I don't think I killed anyone else.
No. Oh wait, you took him out from fresh. That's right. Yeah. So you killed 2 of those guys, though. I mean, 1 was just a 1 hit point poke, but hey.
And then I got the benefit of Collector being at 1 for.
Yep.
The Nova Force.
Yep. Yeah, Nova Force. I feel like you used that to real good efficacy today.
Yep.
So Maurice says, Nova's growing on me. His combos with those lower cost cards open up opportunities for bigger moves down the line. Yeah. And honestly, Hulk, as long as he doesn't ever have to think about thwarting, I'm having fun with his deck this way because it's the kind of deck that I like to build. It's a, you know, Iron Man, a Spider, a War Machine type of deck where you're just building up all this stuff in front of you. Even, this is even the way I play, what's her name? Black Widow. Just build up a bunch of stuff in front of you, and then like you're prepared for anything. So, for me, like I like this kind of deck. So I actually had fun with this. I had fun playing Hulk in this scenario. I'd like to try him in other scenarios where I change out a couple cards. Maybe I use those Indomitables more than I did this game. I think it would be even better.
Yeah. I did think it was cool. We coordinated the one side scheme for you to heal 4 health. I thought that was actually pretty clutch.
Yes. I got to Machine Man it up.
Yeah.
And we did clearly build for this scenario, but I do remember Collector feeling nearly impossible at some points for us. So I do feel like we have progressed as a team going forward too. And I think a lot of it's probably me because I didn't used to build 4 villains as much as I did certainly for this one today.
Well, sometimes we don't pick them until Friday.
Well, that's true, and I've already built my deck. That is very true. But it's like sideboarding. You could flip in and out a couple cards. Like that's all it really takes.
Well, unless you're bringing like a ally like jump block deck.
Well, yes, no, that would have been
like nothing you can do to sideboard it.
No, not for this villain. That is for
Have
sure.
you? I'd be curious. Like, have you thought about Clarity of Purpose, the like leadership card I was using with She-Hulk that damages you for a resource to leverage basically Hulk's like massive healthful. Like that.
That's a leadership card though, right?
That's a leadership card, yeah.
I think Hulk in leadership could be pretty good. He wants card draw. So does that give him a card draw or does it give him a resource?
No, it's a wild resource, yeah.
Yeah. He wants card draw. He doesn't, as you saw at the end, resources, the only benefit of resources is that's why you put Plan B in. That's why you put some of these other cards in, like Machine Man, that really eat up resources. Because otherwise, you're just sitting there with a bunch of resources at the end and not much you can do.
Well, you could like go strength and numbers build, which turns into card draw, right?
Sure. Yeah.
And then you basically put a bunch of 3-cost allies in.
3 costs just because of his resource, his triple resource.
3 costs because it's triple resource and his 4-card hand. On any 4-card hand, you can always put an ally in, right?
Well,
if
sure.
you have the ally.
Yeah.
Would be the reasoning there.
But you want to do what I did here, I believe, most of the time with Hulk, which is get a bunch of extra. I feel like Mansion's almost a necessity for him. It's not, right? You could clearly build without it, but I feel like it's so good for what he wants. And Plan B is such a clutch card too, because there's so many times you're sitting there with 1 card in your hand at the end of your turn.
Yeah, that's the I guess with the leadership thing you would do. You can also have stuff that like readies Hulk too, I guess. And then boost his stats and stuff.
You could still get the ones, the 3 ready cards that I put in this deck, because those are basic cards, and you just have to have 14 health and it only costs 1. So you could definitely put those in. So that's 3, and again, I think he has 2 in his deck. So that's 5 ready your hero cards, which is not terrible, by the way.
Right. Avengers Assemble's the +2 stat and ready, I think, for 4.
Yeah. I was super sad that I got my unflappable late, and that I really never got my ingenuity till the very end of the game too.
Yeah.
Like that's super sad. Yeah. Like, you want to get those in the right order. Things could go better or worse, because that +1 attack, like, I probably wouldn't have flipped down. Maybe I would have, because I was in a bad spot at that point. But, you don't want to flip down and get rid of that +1 attack, because, that's just you have cards that give you attack equal to your attack value. You're attacking 2 or 3 times a turn sometimes. Again, with Hulk in this scenario, you're not attacking nearly as much as you normally would also, because you're exhausting to remove cards from the collection.
R&D facility could give him +1 stat as well, with which you can couple with redding, or you could do adrenaline rush.
Yeah, I mean, the part of the problem is there's so many cards needed, I'm gonna say, to get him up to good, that like, a lot of your 40 card deck is gone by the time you put all the stuff in that he kind of needs. I didn't feel like I had a lot of room to play. Again, if you just look at Mansion, the double resources, Mansion, Plan B.
I definitely built Hulk decks without any double resources except strength sometimes. If I'm doing aggression, actually.
Yeah.
But just because for dropkick and stuff, you just don't. There's so many cards want strength cards if you're not like kind of building a more generic deck that like.
Well, sure.
I think you can get away with not wanting it and just being like, "Yep, I'm gonna play 1 card a turn."
I mean,
it's
aggression.
Be a big freaking card. Yeah.
Aggression, he really does become a one-trick pony, though. I felt like here at least I was contributing. If I got my other retaliate card out, I've been doing 2 every time I defend, 1 every time I'm just taking damage. So I felt like I was at least a little more helpful, like especially keeping you alive, which felt necessary sometimes.
Yeah, but I feel like the trade with aggressions, you run drop kick and stuff, which stuns the villain, right? Which is basically one of a defense, and you get to draw that card.
And I certainly could have put in stunny cards in here too.
Tackle, I guess.
Well, the one that defends for 2, and then if you block it all, stun him. I definitely could have put that in. But my obviously you saw the theme here was readying. That was my goal, was to ready as much as possible. I feel like I didn't do it as much as I wanted, but I still did it a decent amount. But I wanted to ready just, again, mostly for the collection. I wanted to be able to help with the collection, defend you, and then punch. Were kind of my 3 goals.
I just wanted to thwart. That's really all I built for.
And we needed you to, and it was awesome. So I kind of feel like we both did what we set out to do at the beginning, which is good.
I haven't played that much Nova, but I feel like he kind of came not under the radar as much, but I feel like a lot of people kind of gravitated towards Ironheart when they both came out. And maybe that's like one of the unfortunate things of like the dual release is like you get 2 heroes at the same time, and you may gravitate towards one or the other.
Yeah. Well, I've certainly played way more Spider than Spider-Ham. Partially because my daughter loves Spider-Ham, and partially because Spider sings to me, for sure. So this is a good question. Stomacher asks, is there a villain plus module that you would say is a good benchmark to test your decks? So do you have a go-to villain that you test your decks against?
I like Claw. He's definitely one of the first ones I go to. Just because I think he is very random, so he kind of like if you do a few plays of it, you kind of like if you're. I guess it depends on like when you say deck testing, like what you're testing for. Like obviously, if you're bringing a alt deck, like for multiplayer, like you don't need to do everything, right? And so I think you kind of have to factor that in how you play test. If you're just doing like a generic, like a good all around deck, I think Claw is not the hardest villain, but I think he does stretch your deck in having to do a little bit of everything, right? Like you have to be able to handle some hand hate for discard. You have to be able to handle stun and confuse. You have to be able to handle thwarting and damage, and like depending on the modular you put in, like the minions. So I definitely think if you start to look at some of those hood modulars, they get a little harder of like the type of minions you're going to get to. So I think he is kind of one of my go-to just like general testing decks or like kind of setups.
Yeah, so for me, I mean, my go-to, it used to be Ultron, which is kind of a stupid one actually, because Ultron takes your cards out of your deck, and it really cycles your deck in a weird way. So I wouldn't recommend that. But Mutagen formula was the other one I used to love to go to because it gives you a feeling of a lot of minions. It gives you some side schemes. It gives you, I don't know. It just feels like a hard challenging deck. This is for solo decks for me. Now, what I've started doing now is just playtesting against whatever we're going to play against. So for me, last night I played against Collector. I only did 5 turns, I think, just to get a feel for how the deck would start at the beginning. And I didn't care about threat at all. I'm like, I'm going to pretend Terence is taking care of all the threat. So I schemed out on like turn 2, but I just kept playing just to see what my deck would do. So I think you could do that as well, even if you're like, okay, can I handle all the threat in a 2-player game? Like you could, double the threat, pretend you had 2-player threat and just play through that way as well, against whatever you're going to play against. So I don't know that I definitely have a go-to. Oh, Brent agrees with you though. He says Claw is the best to test. He also says he has all the facets in the game and on expert starts with all of them in play. So
yeah, like Claw, you get a minion to start with. You have to discard off the top of the deck with a minion in play with you. So you have to be able to handle a minion. And then he starts with like 2 side schemes, right? You got Immortal Claw and Defense Network. Mortal Claw has the acceleration token, gives him plus 10 hit points, which the plus 10 hit points don't really matter because you're going to hopefully clear that side scheme.
Yeah.
And then Defense Network has Crisis, right? So like you can't just start thwarting the main scheme. So you got to be able to kind of deal with all of that from the get-go. And like if you put in a pretty nasty like minion modular, like Claw does have in his base scenario, right, like those weapon runners, which are like 2 hit point, and you love them off the discard because then they don't surge.
Yeah. Well, no, and
if you get unlucky, you can get like Wrecker, right? Like you get this guy in front of you on the opening turn.
Yeah, no,
you gotta dig out that hole, right?
I think that's a good point that you just made there, which is, I would say pick your modular based on what you want your deck to do. If you want your deck to be a big minion killer, yeah, put Wrecking Crew in and see if you can handle the big minions that come out there, right? If you want to figure out if your deck thwarts enough, if you have a good Justice deck, put in one with a lot of big side schemes. So I do think the modular should be more modular based on what you're trying to test with your deck. If you're just trying to be a good all-around deck, then it doesn't matter as much. But I do think we have so many modulars now that you could definitely plan or just test certain aspects of your deck by changing the modular. Yeah. So do you want to talk a little bit about the mutants? So what's your thought, Terence? Like, where are you at with mutants? Like, are you super excited? Are you super sad? Do you wish they kept with Avengers? Like, where are you at?
Do you want to touch the news article first? Or you want to go straight into mutants?
Oh, as far as the creating your own scenarios? Is that the one you're talking about? All right, yeah, let's
just the prize, I guess, segues into the yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about that first. This is actually one that I saw, which is surprising because I usually avoid all the news. But somebody's like, "Oh, are you making your own modular?"
It's not a spoiler, so that's why you can see it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so Fantasy Flight is letting you make your own encounter set. Or campaign, I guess. So they said 3 to 5 missions using only what's in the stuff already. So like no making cards for it or whatever else. But I guess you can.
Does that include Kree Fanatic?
I don't know. That's a really good question. And then the other good question is, they said they wanted you to use their modulars that came with them, but I don't think that includes like, so each one has like a required modular, but they also have this like N1 modular encounter set. I believe that one modular encounter set you can mess with, but I'm not 100% sure of that either. I feel like that's true, but they did say in there you can't mess with their set. But I think
you have to use the ones that are required.
Right. But I think for the one modular encounter at the end there, you can put whatever you want in. That's at least what makes the most sense to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, we've played against a custom campaign, right? We played against the one done at Con of Heroes, and it's fun. It's fun. Now they did make their own modular though, which they don't want you to do here. I mean, I've got some ideas. Like, I mean,
Are you gonna submit something?
no. See, I mean, so do you want me to spoil it and people feel free to take it? I mean, I don't have an idea for the whole thing, but I'm definitely thinking some kind of Guardians of the Galaxy themed, which we already have, I know. But I want it to end with Thanos, and I want the one before Thanos to be Ronin. Maybe the third one to be Ronin. So like, but Ronin without all his BS that's in his campaign, right? I think Ronin is actually beatable if you don't have all that other stuff. And if he's too hard, then because he's not the final boss, maybe you put in something easier with him. You know what I mean? To boost him up. And then maybe if you can use Kree Fanatic, maybe even use Kree Fanatic. So you've like beat him up, but you haven't totally gotten rid of him. You know what I mean? And then he comes back with that Kree Fanatic for that last fight. I just some kind of combination with Ronin and Thanos, and I think Thanos should be the main bad guy. Like he has to be the main bad guy of a campaign. I'm sorry, like
you're like, this is the real
right
Mad Titan Shadow Box.
Right, and again, I would find a way to make Ronin easier. Maybe even give you ship command or something like that. Just give you Nebula's ship or not Nebula's ship, but you know what I mean. Give you ship command or something, or maybe give you something to help out.
Don't you have ship command
for Ronin?
Yeah,
I don't think so. No, ship command came in. Oh yeah, you do. I'm sorry.
I'm pretty sure you get ship command
for Ronin.
Yeah,
and that still doesn't
ship
help.
Command's one of the required. Yep. You just gotta wait till X-Men comes out, then you can put Longshot in.
There you go.
Yeah, that could be cool. I'm curious to see what people come up with. I think I would want. I think if I was to do something, I would just like put together all the like first like scenarios from the boxes because I think they're all like pretty solid.
Oh, that'd be fun. And it'd be
like,
quick
I think,
too.
Yeah, that's the other thing is I feel like it doesn't outstay its welcome. And I think they're all like, in every box. Like I think the first scenario in every one is like, it's not necessarily the hardest, but it's like. It's a good scenario, right?
Well, you didn't like
I know
Maw,
you don't like.
though, I thought. Am I wrong on that? I thought you didn't like Ebony Maw.
No, Maw's fine. I think he's the weakest out of all of them. Like I think just because he's a little more surgy than the other ones. But like I think Sandman. I think Maw's still solid. I think Drang is definitely one of my favorite from that box, right? Even Crossbones is pretty. Can be pretty lethal, but like fair,
Well, and if you add his weapons to the way he works in his campaign to the other villains, that does something too, right? Yeah, so you could do like some kind of weapon runner scenario, something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, it doesn't have to be 5 missions either. And then we've got enough upgrades between all the boxes to, like, do some stuff as well. So you don't even have to stick to one thing. You could take Shawarma from one. You could add Odin. Maybe that's it. You have Odin help you out. Like maybe you go through Hell, because I love that Hela scenario. Rescue Odin, and he helps you take down Thanos and Ronin. Right there, you go. Done. So. Strumiker asks, odd question, does the hood instruction sheet include anything necessary for play? His copy didn't come with one. I don't think so. Does it give you the difficulty of the modulars? It might do that. I can't remember.
No, I think you can play hood just with the cards. Like, I don't think you need anything.
But he's asking if the instruction sheet helps anyway.
I think it just kind of explains like how you construct the hood scenario of like like you get 9 modulars in the box or in the pack, and then you pick 7, right? And so I think it kind of just goes through and says like on a normal game like you would pick like scenarios 1 through 7 or whatever,
Did you
or
want me
like the
to go get
modulars
my
1 through 7.
instruction sheet? Because we don't know whether it has difficulty, right? I feel like it might. I feel like that's the only thing that's.
I think it tells you like 1 through 7 are the easier are the easiest ones,
Oh,
and
okay.
then if you do 8 and 9, they're harder.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you want to grab it, you feel free.
Yeah, I can run in the other room and grab it real quick. But all right, so let's talk a little bit about mutants. So, what are your thoughts about mutants?
I'm excited for it. But I would be excited for anything. I think I'm probably like one of the odd people out where like I did grow up watching the X-Men '90s cartoons, and I think I was a bigger fan of X-Men when I was a kid.
Yeah, I'm the same
Uh,
way. By the way, I feel
but
exactly the same.
I think I've fallen off a little bit just because I feel like compared to the MCU stuff, like I don't think the X-Men movies have held up as well.
Yep.
And but that's fine, like I think there's a lot of interesting stuff there, and I'm curious what they're gonna do. I mean, having played what we have though, like like I think if it's like any of the other LCGs, which I think it's going to be, like every future set is going to be a little better than the stuff before because they've learned things, right? And they bring different ideas to the table. That doesn't like obsolete any of the existing cards necessarily, but I think they get to stretch and flex and kind of do different things in the design.
Yeah.
And they also to some degree account for the existing card pool too. And so I think like seeing all that stuff come together, and in some ways X-Men is a way, in many ways too, to just reset. Like with both the art because they're not allowed to share stuff, but also like in some ways it is like a second core, but not exactly.
Yeah, it's a
Um,
weird second core because you're getting all new cards that you've had, but with different art. I mean, it's not a ton of them, but yeah. So it does feel like something separate to me, at least, anyway. And I don't know. I agree with you. I used to be excited by X-Men, and actually, Shoemaker makes a good point again. I think the only reason I'm not excited for X-Men is because I don't like the movies. Yeah, the movies were fine. I never loved any. I mean, the original X-Men movies.
I was excited to go see them in the theater, but
Yeah,
like
I mean, I like Days of Future Past too. That was good. I actually like the new one, as not the new one, the reboot.
yeah.
The second time and third time I watched it, like the first time I watched it, I didn't like it because it wasn't what I was used to. But I've gotten over that now. Like a lot of people still complain, "Oh, this is not what I thought it was going to be," and like I've seen so many different origin stories for Spider-Man and all this stuff or Batman too. Like that at this point, I'm like, okay, I'm just going in with a blank mind, and I don't care like how they handle the origin. If it, as long as it's good movie. So yeah, so that one threw me off at first, but then I was like kind of glad to see where it ended up. But yeah, no, X-Men doesn't excite me as much. And here's the thing I worry about: because there's so much mutant stuff, I worry that we're gonna be here for a while. Um,
Didn't I thought I heard, was it rumors or someone? I feel like I heard something in grapevine like 2 more cycles after this of X-Men.
right, so that means
Which
three
whatever
total
is like
cycles.
it's like kind of on par with what we got for Avengers, right? Like with some splash of like Guardians and other stuff in, but like it was basically like 3 cycles of Avengers, give or
Was it?
take, right?
No, because the second one was all Guardians. That's not true at all. Or not the second one, the third, the second big expansion. So like the first cycle was clearly Avengers. The second cycle with Red Skull was clearly Avengers. But the third one was
And
all
then
Guardians.
Mad Titans
Was
was
Mad
like
Guardians? Oh, that
that
was
was
after though. That was after the.
yeah, it's like yeah, so like we got like almost 3 whole cycles of Guardian or of Avengers stuff.
Wasn't that
Because like even in
Champions though?
no Champions was after. Champions was the Spider-Man stuff.
I mean, one of them was weird because I feel like it was a nothing cycle. I mean, I guess they were
But
Avengers.
Mad Titan Shadow had some Guardians because you got Nebula, right?
Yeah, that was a
But
mishmash.
but like the rest of it was still like, and then you got Adam Warlock and Nebula as two Guardian heroes, but you still got like Spectrum, Vision, War Machine, Valkyrie in that cycle,
Yeah.
right? Like
I want an
it was still
Asgardian
mostly.
cycle. I know we've got all the Asgardians or a lot of the Asgardians, but I want Asgardians. That's the one
I'm
I'm.
just saying, like, it was almost three full cycles of Avengers, right? Like, I feel like we're splitting hairs a little bit of just like,
Well,
yeah, like we
sure.
got some other stuff, but like it was over 2.5 cycles, which you
Yeah.
round up is basically three. And if you're getting three-ish cycles of X-Men and it's like also a very large group, it's like fine, right? Like I think that's fair.
So Brant says, I'm excited for the X-Men because the goal is to keep allies in play. I do think it would be interesting. I mean, we did that today, right? And we've built enough ally in play decks where you're not just using them to chump. I mean, my Spider-Woman Energy Spear um, deck is basically that, where you're just trying to keep your allies in play as long as possible. So I I'm curious to see how they do it with the X-Men because I haven't spoiled myself too much. But I do like the idea of leaving allies in play and not just using them as chumpers. I mean, to me, honestly, that's the biggest negative of the game is chumping with allies. It's just weird that they can take all the damage because I feel like it forces them to accelerate villains to some degree, right? Like nobody's taken a 9 hit punch to the face, but because an ally can chump it for you, they'll like make villains able to hit for 9. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but to me, I haven't thought about it before just now. But to me, the ally chumping thing really makes it so they can go a little nuts with some of the acceleration and villain attacks and stuff like that. Like, there's no way they put that Goblin Glider in if you couldn't chump, right? Where after they activate again. Like,
Yeah, but he has a thing that also allows you that like gives him overkill because he's a symbiote.
well, yeah, and that's even worse. So, well, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, I guess just reining it back to some of the ally stuff too. I feel like one of the really neat things from our experiences at Gen Con was just seeing. I think there's just gonna be different levels because of that teamwork theme. I mean, much more than like the Avengers and stuff. Like
Yeah,
that family drama teamwork thing will be interesting to see how it plays out.
yeah, for sure.
I mean, with the kind of X-Jet and other stuff, like you are seeing more kind of like I don't know, collaboration's the right word, but like more globally usable cards on the table that target the X-Men trait that I think is going to be really fun to both play and see what they do with. So
Speaking
I'm
of
excited for that
teamwork,
part.
next week you've been asking for this for a while, Terence. Let's do that ally Guardian Avenger team up cards. Let's do
Yeah, I
that
feel
next
like they
week.
came out, and I feel like we haven't really explored that space at
I don't
all.
think anybody has, honestly. Maybe I missed a stream with it, but I don't think anybody's really looked into that. Um, Brant, don't be stealing that this week.
I'm sure I have already looked into it because that's how much faith
Probably.
I have in
Yes, no,
exploring.
me too. But yeah, so maybe we do that next week. We look at those team up cards and we focus on them, just building decks that work well together with Avenger Guardian. If you all have anybody that you'd like to see us play in that, let us know. Speaking of Brant, he said, who would you prefer, X-Men, Fantastic Four, Defenders, or Rocket Raccoon only campaign? Well, we all know
I feel
not.
like Brant would pick the Rocket Raccoon
Of
only
course.
campaign.
Well, why else would he mention it? I'm excited for Defenders. Um, yeah, I'm excited for Defenders. Fantastic Four, Again, I think the movie ruined it for me, right? Yeah, I don't know.
I'm excited for the Fantastic Four. I would agree the Fantastic Four movies are the worst of all the movies we
Yes.
just talked about. But I did read some of the back in I feel like the 2000s I want to say. They did like alternate universe kind of Ultimate comics. And I remember the Ultimate Fantastic Four was a fun read. So I'm definitely And they're just kind of classic, right? Like they've been around for a long time. So I'm curious to see what they do with that one.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm not a huge Fantastic Four like
Like
fan.
like
I
how do
haven't
they
seen.
make Thing? Like how are they gonna make Thing unique and different, right? Like he's also another big like. I mean, I'm sure he's gonna have a card that's like clobbering time, right? Which is his
Well, right.
signature phrase. But like how is he gonna be different? Like I'm sure he's gonna be
From
a
a
four
Hulk.
card. Yeah, Hulk, Drax, like they have a few like Thor, right? They have a few of these like forehand large hit point heroes, right?
Yeah.
And so it always be when they get to it, it'll be fun to kind of see what they do.
But
And then
they've
there's
been doing a good job. I mean, look, the Colossus. Who would have thought
yep.
he'd be like, using tough cards for different stuff. They've explored the space really well, and I'd like to see more things like preparation cards as well. I think that's one thing they did it with Widow, but they haven't really gone back to it. And it could be called something else. They don't have to be preparations. Certainly love if they'd be preparations because I'd love to add more to Widow's kit. I feel like she hasn't evolved as much as I would have loved to see her evolve since then. But
I think she's evolved a lot. I mean, there aren't that many prep cards, but there's still some. I feel like there's another like Nebula actually is another hero that's like
the
Widow,
problem is,
but
I
I'm
just
like,
feel like she wants to bring all of them every time. So like, I would love it if there were so
but
many
even
prep
in
cards that
even in
I had to
Justice,
pick and choose. You know what I
you
mean?
don't bring all of them, do you?
I bring a lot of them. Um,
I'm
you
just
know,
saying, like Nebula, like you at least get prep cards that are like in the normal set.
right?
Nebula doesn't get any techniques that are not in her signature.
Sure.
And I would love to see them explore potentially techniques and stuff a little more to make Nebula more interesting to build and also make them useful outside of Nebula's kit, right?
Well, I was about to say the problem is if you put them outside of Nebula, then she's just going to take them every time. And is it really more interesting to build, or is it just
Well, yeah, because she has both a pro and a con to taking a technique. They get discarded for her, which is not true of other people.
doesn't the technique card itself say discard it?
No, it's her hero
Ah, okay.
card.
It says trigger all of them and then discard them.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, sure. That's what I'm saying. I want them to explore a lot of these mechanics that they've kind of thrown in for one hero at a time. That's part of the reason I'm not as excited for X-Men 2. I feel like you're starting a whole new thing at this point. I would also like them to get into the horror stuff too. Um, Not necessarily Marvel zombies, although I know that's everywhere now, but like Blade and like Brother Voodoo and like isn't there a whole team with those guys?
There's like the Midnight Sun stuff, yeah.
Yeah, Midnight Suns. I'd love to see that. I mean, for me, that would be probably priority one. I mean, certainly we'd love to see movies for that as well, because I think that would be super cool. That would definitely be something I'd be excited about. But they haven't really even explored Wakanda. What about that? Like, that's another place we haven't been. I mean, that's certainly MCU. Shuri Okoye. Um, what else?
Yeah, I think Wakanda will be tough until they like get through some other stuff, you know.
No, I'm just
Like it's
saying
just
there's all this stuff that they could do, and that's why I'm sad that they went to X-Men because I feel like X-Men's gonna eat up several cycles. Whereas
I mean it's three cycles in total, I think.
at
Is
least that we know,
yeah.
like so that's the thing. Like I would rather have explored this other stuff more first. So that's why I'm not as excited about X-Men, but I am excited about every new release they do, whether X-Men or not, because they do a good job of making every hero feel unique. And even the worst hero in the game, which I believe is Hulk, might be Valkyrie, but they did things to make Hulk better. Like I felt today like Hulk was the best I've ever felt playing Hulk.
Yeah, I mean I'm just along for the ride. They can probably do whatever and I will buy it. So
Right.
um like uh X-Men are fine. I'm excited. What we've played is really good. at Gen Con. So
Oh, the scenarios were great. That's the thing. Like, I mean, I hate to say I don't care who it is. I didn't know anything about Spider before we got Spider, right? But he's now one of my favorite, or she, I guess. It, because it's a robot, is now one of my favorite.
Penny's a she, right?
Penny's
so.
a she. Yeah, the pilot's a she for sure. I mean, she's one of my favorite heroes in the game right now. So yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily have to care about who the hero or villain is, as long as it's good mechanics. Like, I have no affinity for Ebony Maw, but I think that scenario is great. Hela, same thing. Like, Hela's fine, but her scenario is like the best in the game. So for me, that's the important thing, is they keep doing well with the mechanics, which they do. And I'm buying everything too. So
Well, I think it's the mechanics and then tying, like, for the most part, tying it to theme too, right? Like, even though
yeah,
you know nothing about Spider, like, you can feel the mechanics matching
absolutely.
to controlling the suit and doing the stuff. And even with, like, Spider and Ham too, right? The cartoon of, like, the damage turning into a thing and then the joke stuff, like, it's just like, I think for the most part, they're definitely like, I mean, this is them at their best, right? Like, anything where you have a highly themed card game, or not card game, but a game, and, like, you're able to tie mechanics to the theme.
Yeah. So last comment, and then we'll get out of here. Stumaker says, I kind of wish they'd do this LCG with Tyrannoth universe. Superheroes are fine, just not my cup of tea. Terence, take it away.
I'm supposed to comment on that.
Well, you're supposed to say your other favorite game, which is also
Star Wars.
no, yeah,
JK.
yeah, no, Lord of the Rings, right? I
Lord of the
mean,
Rings LCG. Yeah.
yeah, if you want to play a game that is very similar in feel, although clearly not the same, yeah, Lord of the Rings does a good job. It's similar and it's in that fantasy universe.
I think it's similar, but it's very different, right? Like, I think when we were talking to Caleb, I don't know if you were there, Peter, at Gen Con, but they basically described, like, Lord of the Rings as their adventure LCG,
Right.
and then Arkham was their RPG LCG, and
This is a
Marvel
boss
was
battler.
their boss battler, right? Like,
Yeah.
and I think with those kind of things, it makes sense, even though all those games share mechanics for sure. Um, and if you've played one, you definitely can see a lot of the rulings being very similar between all three of them too. There are definitely differences, but
Yep.
um, like, it's common that, like, if you like one, there's a good chance you might not. It's not guaranteed, but there's a good chance you'll like one of the other ones as well. Um, but yeah, I mean, Lord of the Rings is a much longer game, I would say. But the deck building's also much more intricate, and so you get a deeper level of deck building, but you also have to be able to put that time and energy to get that out
Well,
of
I
it,
mean,
right?
it's more cards to start with, right? Because they do a 50 card deck. Is that true?
Yep, 50 card minimum.
So 50 card deck, and you don't have 15 cards already built for you. I think Marvel is a better introduction to deck building, but Lord of the Rings, as you said, is going to give you much deeper deck building because you're controlling a lot more of that deck.
Yep. And yeah, so they said that narrative-led games like Arkham or The Rings aren't for them. So
Yeah, no, they prefer to do the boss battler type games. Yeah, I mean, there are plenty of great boss battlers out there. I mean, Oathsworn, fantastic game, just came out this year. Not an LCG, but super fun boss battler. Primal, from what I understand, I played it a couple times. I still don't have my head wrapped around it, but I know a lot of people are excited for that one and played that and really enjoyed it. If you want something a little lighter, Adventure Tactics, great one that I really like. The only negative for me on that one is the scenario design's not great. One I just played, Hoplomachus Victorum, I think is the solo one. If you're into solo and campaign, it's really
very
really fun.
very different though.
Oh,
Like,
all
that's
those
all
are very
about
different.
tactical
That
positioning.
yeah,
I would say, out of all the ones you said, Primal's probably the closest. because it is a pure card game for the most part, besides the little board where you're like north, south, east, or west.
Positioning, yeah.
Um, so the positioning is there, but it's like not nearly as big, and I think it's more like monster facing, I would guess, and some of the whatever bushes and stuff. But I would say the card play of trying to chain those combos together gives you a card gamey feel to it compared to probably some of the other ones that you've said.
Well, Aeon's
Even
End also, if you want just a pure card game, Aeon's End is really good because it's a boss
that game
battler.
has fallen. That game has fallen so far for me.
Well, it's too much, right? At some point, it's too much. But the
Well,
gameplay
it's
is
all,
fun.
it's also too much, and I feel like the worst part of the game, the best part of the game is the bosses. The
The
worst part of the
bosses
game
are
are the
great.
player cards. Are the
Well,
player cards, and I think
yes.
that's what like is such a downer for me.
Did you play Astro Knights?
No,
So Astro Knights is their newer version of it. I don't even think it's out yet. We had it a
it's not
year.
out. It's not out yet.
We had
So
it a
I,
year, maybe
I
two ago. No, we played it
yeah,
last year at PAX.
I've not played it because it's not actually out.
Yeah. So Astro Knights, the deck building is better for me, and it's quicker too.
But are
Um,
the player cards 10 times more interesting?
no, I mean, no. I
Yeah,
mean,
I feel like I'm gonna. Yeah, I'm fine. I don't need another Aeon's End type deck builder. I don't think.
well, the thing that is more interesting is you don't have to use the same ones over and over. So the thing that's more interesting is I think you take 4 or 6 decks at the beginning of the game and you shuffle them together. And instead of having like a deck of 10 of the exact same cards, you have 10 different cards in that deck. And so like the order they come out changes. You're not buying the exact same card over and over. So it's not
Gotcha.
quite an Ascension deck builder where it's like you shuffle a million cards together. There's still piles, and it's like this is your money pile, this is your attack pile, whatever else. But certain cards are definitely going to be better for certain players. So you're like kind of fishing for cards, and I don't know. It was more interesting because of that. And then again, setup was a million times faster.
Yeah,
And
it seems much more streamlined and like overall a better game.
yes,
I
uh,
just don't know if that's enough to fix the game for me. Uh, they also just churn them out like candy,
well,
and
Aeon's End, yes, Aeon's End. There
and
was too
I don't
much
I
content after the first expansion for me. Like literally, I
yeah
got the first expansion. I'm like, then they're coming up with Legacy and all that. I'm like, why do you need anything else? Like literally, I'm never gonna play all these bosses. And again,
I
as you said, that's the most fun part of the game.
I feel like my problem with the thing I was talking to Jan about this from the Discord is that like I feel like all their things are better, like their future iterations are better, which is good, but they are done in a way that it feel like it obsoletes the previous content, right? Like it almost feels like I need to wait 5 years and then just buy the latest thing because it's way better than the existing stuff. Whereas
Only
like
if you buy the new stuff. I just have the old stuff and I'm just fine with it. You know what I mean? Like I
right,
don't
but I'm just
need the
saying
new
like the
stuff.
the future design is something better, which is good because it's not worse. But I feel like in with LCGs, I feel like the content's additive, and it doesn't feel that way with Aeon's End.
No,
Like it
no,
feels like
everything's its
replacing
own
it.
thing. Yeah.
It feels like a replacement, and I feel like that's such a big con for me for like buying into a system because they expect me to buy another game of it, and they're
Well,
not like expanding it.
and they're not doing a good enough job. And it's, to be fair, it's harder in a deck building system, but like here they use keywords like champion or web warrior or whatever else, whereas there, if they start using too many keywords, then it only works if you have other cards from that same set in your pool that you're building with. I think that's one of the exciting parts for Astronauts for me, even though the theme isn't as exciting. I like, the spellcaster theme more than the like sci-fi future gunslinger theme. But the thing that I do like is they can, in each of those little sets of cards, they can have cards that combo together, and you wouldn't need like 5 of those sets. You'd still have 5 different cards, but they all kind of combo off each other still. So I think there's more space for more exciting stuff with the way that the new one's going to work.
Right, but is Astronauts 2 just going to be a significantly better game that totally replaces Astronauts 1?
Well, that's the question, right? And are they ever going to do
Like,
expansions? Because like Aeon's End's got 1,000,000 expansions, but who knows if
yeah, I feel like
Astronate's.
that's basically my fear of like anything Nick Little and company design at this point is like I don't know if I want to buy a moment in time with them
Got it.
at this point.
See, for
Uh,
me, I'm okay. Like I would just buy Astronauts, right? I don't need to buy their 50 expansions that they come up with.
yeah. I already
Um,
just have 50 expansive An's End, so I'm just like I'm kind
well,
of burnt.
see,
I'm just kind of burnt down on their design too.
well, I
Like,
think you went down that rabbit hole, and I did not. Like I said, I bought the first expansion, and I was like, all right, I'm good. And I have not even really played much after that first expansion. I think it's a good, fun game. We're definitely down a weird rabbit hole here, but I definitely don't need more, as we've said 50 times at this point.
yeah.
All right. Let's see. I think we've covered a lot tonight. Final thoughts. Let's do some alliance stuff next week. By the way, Brant says they've already done all that stuff, so we're way behind the game on that. So that's okay.
Well, yeah, I'm sure they did it when it came out, and then we did not,
Right. No.
as one would assume.
Well, because there was so
I,
much stuff that came out back to back to back there, and now we're just in this lull before we get Mutant Genesis stuff.
yeah, I think there is one question we did miss from Strummaker about the teamwork. Is that interesting more player-to-player interaction? What do you think on that, Peter?
Yeah. I mean, I think
X-Men.
Marvel Champions has a ton of interaction already, but I'm curious to see how it'll work together because, I mean, you already have stuff like Avengers Mansion, Helicarrier that you can help other people with, but yeah, having them play cards, pay part of the cost so that you don't have to pay this for cost monstrosity out of the hand your hand yourself, and you're using their best cards and your best cards as far as resources to pay for it and heroes to power it to make it even better. So yeah, no, I think it's cool. That with that being said, I've never played with them, so I don't know.
I think this is in reference to X-Men having more player interaction because we were talking about the teamwork. Being as a team.
No, that part of it makes me happy. But I think they'd go down that road anyway, right? I feel like it's getting more and more interactive the more we've played. I think one of the big negatives Jerry had with Marvel Champions is that he didn't care what I did on my turn. Anything that increases that is better, in my opinion. So absolutely.
You don't think there's like a limit of it, like it too much, where you care too much about all these people's turns? It can be overwhelming.
I mean, it could be, but just don't play 4-player. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess for me, like Marvel Champions feels kind of anemic in that respect compared to Lord of the Rings because by default, almost everything in Lord of the Rings is global.
Right.
Like, you can apply an attachment on anything that is legally valid, and in Marvel Champions, by default, the restriction is your play area unless it says so, right?
I still want the game to be simultaneous too, by the way. I know you're against it, and it would, I mean, they'd have to re-go back and balance everything, so
I'm not against it being simultaneous. I just don't think it's designed that way. I think you can make a game that is simultaneous that wouldn't be that different, but I think you would have to rebalance.
Right.
Probably there's a lot of nuance rebalancing that would make the game
Right.
work great in that sense.
I still think it would work even nowadays with it. But just like earlier,
I think
it's
I think there's just cost valuing in certain things that because there are those restrictions, those cards have different values on them.
I think that's theoretical in your mind, by the way. I don't think that's actually
it's
true.
definitely not true. It's definitely like, especially in 4-player, that's definitely not true. Like
I don't feel like the actions are that much. I don't feel like the actions are worse. And that's what you're saying. Like the actions are undercosted for what they give you. I definitely don't think that's true. Because you're saying the actions are only good because you can play them on other people's turns. Not only good, but it inherently increases their value, and I don't think that's true. Personally, like, what's the problem if I flip on your turn and help you thwart? I just think it makes the cards more interesting. It's like, oh, you've got to finish this off. Like, I feel like it would lead to more table talk.
I think it makes certain cards that can circumvent those limitations interesting cards, and if you remove that, then just cards that are there and they're not as interesting.
I
Like
don't. I don't know. Go ahead.
yeah, it's always cheeky when you can do stuff like I can play a Maria Hill at a turn, and it allows everyone to draw cards. Like those combos are interesting because it allows you to cheat the system. Like anything that allows you to cheat stuff, I think is a fun thing if that's part of the design.
Sure.
Um,
I mean, I just think Maria Hill's just undercosted anyway, and maybe their thought process is, oh, if the fourth player gets her, she's not as good. That's true, but you can always hold her for next turn also when you're a first player,
well,
right?
it's not as much about Maria Hill. It's about the cards that allow you to play Maria Hill at a turn, right? Maria Hill's
Sure.
Maria Hill. She's like very good for her cost. Like that's just
Yes.
fact, right? But like
Yes.
if I can play
Even if
Maria
Maria
Hill,
Hill was just draw one card yourself, which is what, Ironheart
yeah,
or whatever.
yeah.
Like, I mean, that's ridiculously good. The fact that she's two costs and lets everybody do that, it's just stupid. Um,
But like being able to use stuff like government liaison and make the call and other stuff, like I put those cards in for sure part of my deck, but they become significantly more valuable in 4 player because I can like I might lean more towards a make the call type deck in a 4 player game versus a regroup because it allows me to cheat her into play at a turn, right?
sure.
And you lose that nuance in the game if you can play stuff willy nilly whenever is
Uh,
all.
and she, uh, Strumaker, I've said the name like 50 million different ways. Says the only thing with simultaneous in the current way Marvel is could really slow down gameplay. Too many possible moves to make that it could get bogged down. I mean, I agree and disagree. Like, you already can do so much simultaneous. Like, the only things you can't do are like use allies, use your attacker, recovery, and flip. And I feel like there are so many times now
And attachments. You can't play attachments or supports.
sure, but I feel like there's so many times now where it slows down the game because you're trying to find ways around that. And you're like, well, let me do this. And I feel like a lot of times it would be like, no, it makes sense for me to do this first. Let me just do this, let you draw a card, and it would just open up so many more possibilities. Like, it makes Mansion much more interesting. Mansion I tend to use on myself most of the time because it's like, well, nobody else needed it, so I guess.
Was it more or less interesting though? Because it's actually
I think
you have to think you have to think about Mansion a lot more now versus the auto like, well, if I can math it out, then it's not a decision really. It's just like I do the math and you
I
pick
feel
the
like it's
optimal
more that
target.
way now, though. I feel like you're slowing yourself down more now to do the math, whereas if I could do it like when I needed it, it's like, okay, well, let's play out the stuff we know we can do, the no-brainer stuff first, and then we'll see where we are, and maybe we'll use Mansion on whoever. Right? I feel like now you're like, we do it a lot. We're like, who should we put the damage on? I don't know. We'll put it off to the side for now. You know, that's basically the exact same thing that we did today, because it's like, well, I don't know who we should do the damage on yet. I don't want to math it out. It'll take me 10 more minutes to figure it out. I actually feel like it's the opposite. I feel like there would be obvious early moves that you could do to lessen the decision space, where now it's like I can't do those obvious moves. So I don't know. I think it could go both ways. Don't get me wrong. I think there's a possibility that would make the AP worse. But I also think that it's like, okay, let's do the things we know we can do, and then we'll have a better idea of what we can use these resources for later. I just think it would increase the teamwork, which is the one thing I want to see more of in Marvel Champions. I feel like there's too much you do your turn, then I do my turn. I want it to be more integrated.
I mean, there's plenty of actions in the game at this point too. I think it puts a lot more weight on flipping down, that being costly. Which, if you can flip whenever, you don't get that same kind of pressure.
But
It's like,
again,
oh yeah,
I feel like half the time we go, okay, I did my turn. Oh, you're not flipping down this turn? Do you mind if I did? So we retcon
no,
it anyway.
it's on the next turn that it matters because it's like I'm flipped down, so any cards I draw that say hero action, which is the vast majority of the stuff I want to play, you have to take that into account that like if you need me to do a thing, like I can't do it. Like I'm flipped down. Like that is a cost.
Sure.
Like it makes the cost of flipping down more weighty.
But
Whether
is
you
that
consider that
fun?
weight or not.
I mean, I don't
I
know
mean,
that that's fun. I want
I
to be
think
able to
those
play my cool
decisions are
stuff.
interesting.
Sure.
Um,
I don't want the game space to limit me. I want to be able to do what I want when I want. And again, I think it leads to more cooperation. I mean, we're going to disagree on this till the end of time, because I do think, and maybe I'm wrong. If I played it that way, maybe I'd find out. And Caleb would tell you, just play it however you want to play it, right? Like, I don't think he'd care. So maybe I should try it out at some point. I just feel like it would lead to better player interaction. Every simultaneous game I played, co-op game I played, there's more discussion. And I mean, in some of these 4-player games we played at Con of Heroes, I just let people take their turns. I had no idea what was going on. You know what I mean?
I mean that was true in Hour of Need when we played at 4 players. I didn't give it. I didn't care what anyone was doing. I had no idea what anyone was doing. It was complete chaos.
Well,
It was like one of the worst co-op experiences I've ever had.
Well, that's different because there's a board, right? And you're on the opposite side of the board from me. So, yes, in that situation, when there's a board, then yes. Yeah, I mean, and again, it could go the other way as well. I know Reckoners is one that I enjoyed because of its simultaneous play. Trying to think.
I mean, I enjoy simultaneous. I think there's a lot of great simultaneous games. I just think like this is not how this game was designed. I think you can design this game to be simultaneous. It's just not how it is with some of the cards and things. But I also am a player coming from Lord of the Rings who appreciates a lot of nuance in cards and stuff. Like I both hated learning the nuance of the phases in Lord of the Rings, but it actually opens the window for lots of cool things that you lose out in Marvel Champions, right? Like the fact that there's only two phases here actually limits the cards a lot. Like in Lord of the Rings, you have a lot more flexibility and restrictions at the same time of like the value of how and when you can play cards and when you can interact with the thing. Like you can do actions throughout the entire turn. And in Marvel Champions, what you can do in the villain phase is actually very restrictive. You can't play any actions in the villain phase. They can only be interrupts and responses.
Right.
And in Lord of the Rings, that's not true. You can, you can play actions through every single phase. And so, like, a lot of cards that have come over from Lord of the Rings feel a lot more limited in Marvel Champions in that respect, because, like, it's like, oh, I want to use Death Focus to play this superpower, like, chaos, like, whatever, the Chaos Reality or whatever, the one from Scarlet Witch, to like cancel the treachery card or the encounter card. You can't do it. Like it's an action, right? Like you need to have a resource card.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think it would open up the design space here, not close it the way you're saying. I actually think it would open it up because, like, for example, like I got a card I want to help you with, and I just can't do it now. Well, then I just can't do it. You know, there's no choice about it. I just can't. I have to wait till your turn's done. Then I can do it. So I don't know. I think...
But that puts decisions in the deck construction part of the game, right? Like, you may put cards in because you want to be able to do stuff out of turn, which I definitely consider when I'm building decks. I think it changes it.
I think it changes it. I don't know that it...
Like, there are definitely cards I consider if I'm building a deck for not solo that I don't consider for solo because I don't care about playing. Like, I only need to care about myself, right? But like if I'm playing a 4-player game at Con of the Heroes, I'm much more inclined to put cards that allow me to do stuff out of turn.
Sure.
You may not do that, but like that it definitely affects how I look at deck construction and the value I put on cards. Like the cards are valued differently for me between solo and multiplayer.
Yeah, no, I agree, but I still think you could do that. And I see what you're saying. They haven't necessarily done that. But I think you can do that with small tweaks to the cards. I agree the game wasn't 100% designed to do that. But how many useless cards do we have now that you're not using anyway? Like, invalidating a couple cards to me is not the end of the world, if it makes the overall gameplay and experience better, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I guess I don't consider it better. I just consider it different.
Yeah, well, I mean... considering nobody's played it, or at least we haven't, we're arguing over stuff that we have no idea here. But
Mike has played it simultaneous, doesn't he? He says he plays it simultaneous.
I mean, he's never played it simultaneous with me, so
It's like, I don't know, I guess like there's the simultaneous variant in like Street Masters, for instance, that Mike had.
yep,
Um, and Jan and I have played it, and I 100% think it significantly makes that game way easier. Like it's not even a question. Like it makes it definitely like a massively easier because the game was not designed, even though it's like now an official variant that Mike put in that rulebook. It like is so much easier because you're allowed to basically a complete optimize your turn. Um, among other things, like it is way easier than playing it like the
sure,
way it was designed.
but isn't that more fun? And you just change the difficulty for that, right? And you can do that in Marvel Champions. You have expert, you have standard 2, expert 2. You think the game becomes too easy? Change the difficulty that way. I would rather feel cool on my turn and not say I would punch somebody in the face, but I'm not allowed to. I don't know.
I already feel cool. I already feel cool. I already feel like a superhero when we play.
But those times where you can't they're feel bad moments. Like, I don't know, just because of turn order. Because if the turn order is different, then you're wasting your cheaty card, right? Or whatever else, like the card that lets you cheat stuff into play. Like, then it's a wasted card. Like, if you just so happen to be first that turn. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't think it would make it that much easier. And I think it would make it much more interesting and reduce the number of feel bad moments. When people are like, well, why can't I do that right now? And again, they're not going to change the rules, so this is like a wasted conversation here. But for me, I would at least want to play it that way sometime, just to see. And that's probably how I'll play it with Jerry next time I play with him, because his biggest thing is he gets bored on the other person's turn.
It's because he plays Euro games, man.
I love Euro games myself. Like I said, I was just playing A Feast for Odin, so there's that. I don't always play co-ops. That's why I'm our Euro guy here. There was a request though for us to play Darkest Dungeon. Have you played that one?
Just the video game.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I'll talk to Steve about it too. Although Steve's computer crapped out last time we were trying to play something in Greyport.
Did he get a new computer yet?
I thought he bought a new computer. I gave him money for it. Like, so he better have bought a new computer, and then it still sucked when we were playing. So I don't know if he was using his old computer or what. Yeah, I mean, he sent me a receipt. He clearly bought a new computer. I just don't know if he's using it or not.
I mean, I think he's playing video games and stuff now, so I assume he is.
Yeah. So, but it still crapped out when we were trying to play Greyport the other day. Literally, he had to host it. And then even when he hosted it, we literally made it through like a 2-hour game. And then it crashed before we got to finish. Because of his stupid computer. So, yes. But all this is beside the point. Anyway, all right. Well, it's been a fun night. A lot of discussion. Darkest Dungeon apparently has an official TTS. So yeah, maybe we play it. Who knows? The only way to find out is subscribe, and you will see. I am going to start a solo series coming up where I try to master games. I think I'm going to start with Spirit Island, where I basically start on level 1 or level 0. And
it's like your version of the Gauntlet.
Yeah,
other games.
Basically running the gauntlet. As I get better, I'm gonna increase the difficulty rating. But I'd like to play the same game week after week, so I don't have to do rules explanations similar to Marvel Champions. So we'll see. Because for me, it's easier too, because then I get the rule set cemented in my brain, and each subsequent game becomes faster and faster to play, and it lets me increase the difficulty without becoming overwhelming. To do it that way. So the first game I'm going to do that with is Spirit Island, because that's what everybody voted for. But then who knows? We'll see. And I have no idea when I'm going to play, by the way. Like, it's not like I suddenly developed more time, so we'll see. But Spirit Island games...
cutting out their content? Or are you doing an addition?
No, it'll be an addition. I mean, I don't do that much other content. We do the podcast, I do this. So it would be an additional thing I do. Maybe on a Sunday or something. Although football season's coming, but who knows? We'll see.
Aren't you designing a game?
2 right now we're in the middle of. Well, one's almost out. So yes, yeah, no, yeah, just adding more things. Yeah, you're not incorrect there. Plus, I keep playing Hoplomachus instead of our next review game because I'm still having a lot of fun with that. And Mike's gonna want.
Brandon was super high on that game at Gen Con. So
it's fun. I mean, the biggest negative is it's repetitive. So for me, I can't sit down and play it for like, I mean, it's a campaign, but it's a short campaign. It's like 8 hours total. But like if you sit down and try to play 8 hours of it, I think you would not have as much fun with it. I think it's great for something that
not for Nick.
Nick, which Nick? My son Nick?
No, Nick Skeen.
Yeah,
he goes super deep into games.
No, you can though, because there's 8 different heroes to choose from, and I think you'd want to play all the heroes. And actually, I've got a great.
But he does it in such a short span, right? Like that's his thing. He'll do however many plays in a week, and burn out on a game.
Yeah, I think this one would burn out quickly. So the way I do it, and just go see my review. But Mike and I just did it. It's an hour review. It'll be on the podcast Sunday, so it'll be there. But bottom line is, I would play in short bursts. I play a half an hour at a time, and it made me itch to come back, and that's where I am right now. Like I just haven't played.
Would you buy it for the CTG price? Isn't it? It's like $150 to $200 game, isn't it?
Probably. If you're a solo player, one of the great parts in doing what I said is you don't even have to leave it set up on your table. You certainly can, but they have a great way to package it and put it away too, which is one of the selling points for me, because I could put it away, play my normal game night. As soon as the guys leave, I could pull it back out and play another round or two of it. So, it hits all my hot buttons. You level quickly and quick fights, but yet tactical fights, and they feel different. Sometimes it feels samey, which is why, again, it feels like a grind at some points. But, it gives me that just one more turn, just one more fight. Because the fights are like 15 minutes and take very little time to set up. So, yeah, it hits a lot of buttons for me. But, all right, everybody. I think that's going to be it. Terence, you have any final words?
No, had a lot of fun in the game tonight. Curious what we're gonna do next week.
Yeah, no, we'll do our Alliance stuff. You can pick whichever one you want. You pick Avenger or Guardian, I'll do the other. All right, everybody. We will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.